Chapter 3644. He did not think that Lin Xian could break through to the fifth heaven with his own strength. Perhaps he would be blasted into a bloody mist by the pressure in an instant. Lin Xian looked solemn as his body shone brightly like a golden god of war, standing in the void. His laws continued to rise and his divine body was fully activated. The void trembled as a violent force shone through the 9 heavens and 10 lands. He threw out a punch that was like a vast ocean. Endless power of laws blasted towards the sky. At this moment, everyone's face changed. This was because this power was simply too strong. They simply could not believe that this was something that a second heaven sage could produce. Boom! The 4th heaven continued to rumble. The 5th heaven also continued to tremble as a hole was punched in an instant. Lin Xian's black hair fluttered in the wind as he roared and stepped into the 5th heaven. His punch pierced through the sky. At this moment, everyone was stunned. The people of the 4th heaven were dumbfounded as they knelt down. The people of the 5th heaven were even more shocked as their eyes shone with a cold light. Who was it? Did he enter the 5th heaven again? There were only a few people in the 5th heaven. Those who could enter were all peerless experts and top evildoers. Was it one of the other 8 great sky prides? They all turned their heads to look. At the next moment, their eyelids twitched wildly. Because they felt that the sky was falling and the earth was cracking as a huge hole appeared near them. Then, a figure walked out. What? It was actually this kid. The few people of the 5th heaven were completely stunned as they realized that the person who came up was not the person they had imagined. It was someone who surprised them. It was that gigolo. How could it be him? How could he be here? In Stillwater Sky City, Shi Bufan and the others were shocked. They had an impression of this person. He was one of Xinjingqiu's people. However, in their opinion, he should be one of Xinjingqiu's male pets and should not be too strong. But now, he could actually come up to the 5th heaven. It was unbelievable. For a moment, they were all stunned as their minds went blank. Below, the people of the 4th heaven were even more shocked. Lin Xian stood on the 5th layer of heaven and looked at the 4th layer of heaven through the crack. He coldly said, "Yu Qianye, how is it? Where is your pride? Do you still think you can look down on me?" Yu Qianye's mind was blank, and he was dumbstruck. Only when Lin Xian asked him did he regain his senses. The next moment he felt like he was about to pee his pants. Impossible! He was really too shocked. The other party had broken the sky with a single punch. What kind of strength was this? No, this was not his true strength. This place was very strange, and it should have something to do with the laws. But if it was the laws, then it was even more inconceivable. The other party's comprehension of laws was already so profound. This had completely surpassed him. For a moment, he was unable to accept this. Damn brat, don't be so arrogant. If you can do it, so can I. Yu Qianye roared and soared into the sky. His heart was filled with shock, but he believed in himself. Perhaps the barrier here wasn't as strong as before, and that was why the other party had been able to enter. Boom! Yu Qianye exerted all of his strength and blasted it towards the sky. This attack was extremely domineering, as if the entire sky was about to shatter. However, when the palm landed, heaven and earth trembled, and there were no cracks. Instead, Yu Qianye was sent flying. What? Yu Qianye did not succeed. The people of the 4th layer of heaven were shocked. It seemed that the gap between the two parties was too big. Damn it, I don't believe it! Yu Qianye roared and attacked crazily. However, the 5th layer of heaven was like a Milky Way hanging above his head, making it impossible for Yu Qianye to come over. Seeing this, Lin Xian's lips curled into a cold smile. Is this what you have to be proud of? Is this what you use to look down on me? What a joke! Hearing this, Yu Qianye was so angry that he vomited blood. As one of the 8 geniuses, his strength was strong, and he had just broken through to the 4th layer of heaven, so he was proud and arrogant. But now, he was being looked down on. Damn it, I can't accept this! He roared crazily, and a terrifying law rushed out and attacked above. Boom! 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 The fluctuations between heaven and earth were even more terrifying, but the fifth layer of heaven still did not crack. Humph, trash. Lin Xian's eyes were filled with disdain. He ignored Yu Qianye and looked at Xing Jingqiu. Qiu, come up quickly, I'll wait for you at the fifth layer of heaven. As he spoke, the crack under Lin Xian's feet slowly healed. After it had completely healed, the people of the fourth layer of heaven were still in a daze. Lin Xian's previous actions were too spectacular, and coupled with Yu Qianye's sorry state, it formed a sharp contrast. They felt that Lin Xian was the real genius, and Yu Qianye was just an ant. No! I don't believe it! Yu Qianye roared crazily and attacked quickly. He would definitely break through and enter the fifth layer of heaven. At this moment, he was extremely crazy. On the other side, Xing Jingqiu also attacked. She took a deep breath and shouted. She waved her hand, bringing along a powerful lull. Naturally, this attack could not break through the fifth layer of heaven, but she was not discouraged. Her mentality was very stable now. Therefore, after a period of time, she coaxed the fifth layer of heaven open and stepped in. Xing Jingqiu also went in? Many people were envious. Seeing this, Yu Qianye spat out a mouthful of blood. He was so angry that he went mad. How could it be? How could I not go in? He was mad. To be honest, he was suppressed by Xing Jingqiu before, but after his cultivation breakthrough, he did not put Xing Jingqiu in his eyes. In his opinion, with his current strength, he could compete for the top 3 of the 8 geniuses. But now, Xing Jingqiu also went in, and he still could not break through. He could not accept it. Wan Xiaofeng saw this scene and shook her head slightly. Yu Qianye's mentality was broken, and he could not use his full strength. Thinking of this, she shook her head. If he continued to be crazy, he would be a pitiful worm. Ignoring him, she also began to break through to the fifth layer of heaven. The fifth layer of heaven. Everyone was in a state of shock. They had not recovered from their shock. Lin Xian had entered? How could it be? But until now, they found that it was really a fact. They had no choice but to accept it. Soon, they found that another person came in from the fifth layer of heaven. It was Xing Jingqiu. They were shocked. After Xing Jingqiu came in, she looked at Lin Xian. Brother Lin, I'm here. Lin Xian nodded. Qiu, recover your strength first, then attack. Xing Jingqiu sat down cross-legged and began to recover her strength. Lin Xian attacked. When he entered the fifth layer of heaven, he only threw a punch and did not use much strength. So now, he was ready to break through to the heavenly thunder 9 sounds. Chapter 3645. The fifth layer of heaven was much more difficult than the previous ones. Lin Xian only used the 5 sounds of heavenly thunder in one punch. Wow, this kid is so strong! Shi Bufan and the others exclaimed. But soon they screamed in fright. That was because Lin Xian had thrown out another punch. This time, the 9 sounds of heavenly thunder were all heard. Shi Bufan, Shi Sui Tiancheng and the others were scared to death. Damn it, how is this possible? How can he be so strong? Is this kid still human? Under everyone's surprised gaze, Lin Xian sat down cross-legged. What did you see? Shi Bufan's mouth twitched. The stars in Shi Sui Tiancheng's eyes disappeared. He used the 9 sounds of heavenly thunder. Heavens, he can be compared with Di Ling. Damn it, this kid is too strange. Ghostly was also gritting his teeth. Between heaven and earth, the voice of the messenger sounded again. In the 9 layers of heaven, do not waste time, because time is also part of your assessment. If you feel that you can no longer move forward, then it is wise to give up appropriately. Hearing this, everyone was shocked again. They originally thought that they could stay here for a little longer, and maybe there would be a chance. But now it seemed that it was impossible. Time was also part of the assessment, so if they stayed here for too long, and could not move forward, then their ranking would fall. So thinking of this, they could no longer be shocked. Let's break through to the 6th layer of heaven first, then think about what's going on with this kid. There were only 6 people in the 5th layer of heaven. At this moment, except for Xinjingqiu and Lin Xian, the other 4 people were attacking like crazy. However, the 6th layer of heaven was not a place where you could go as you wish. Even if Shi Bufan, Shi Sui Tianqing, Ghostly and the others attacked for a long time, they still could not break through. This made them feel despair. No! I can't accept this. They were all peerless geniuses and had incomparable confidence in themselves. How could they retreat because of such a small matter? However, after 3 days, they were completely in despair. In these 3 days, they never stopped attacking, and each time they used their strongest attack, but they still could not break through. Shi Bufan sighed and said, "It seems like I can't do it anymore. I'm going to leave." Indeed, it would be futile to stay any longer. The 5th layer of heaven was probably his limit. Furthermore, there was also the factor of time. He could not stay here indefinitely. Therefore, he was prepared to leave. Shi Sui Tianqing sighed. Could it be that he really couldn't do it? He didn't leave, but another person did. This person wasn't one of the 8 great geniuses. He was a new genius. However, they also chose to leave. The only ones left to attack were Ghost Force and Stillwater Sky City. Finally, Ghostly tore open a crack and successfully entered the 6th layer of heaven. He looked up to the sky and laughed. "Ha ha ha ha, Shi Sui Tianqing, I'm leaving first, you have fun." Had Ghostly entered? Damn it. Shui Tianqing unleashed his strongest eye technique, but he still didn't succeed. In desperation, he could only choose to withdraw. His figure disappeared in the 5th heaven. Only Lin Xian and Xinjingqiu were left on the 5th floor. The 2 of them were still comprehending and had not woken up. The 6th layer of heaven. A figure appeared. It was Ghostly. As soon as he appeared, he looked up to the sky and laughed. It was really great. He finally reached the 6th layer of heaven. Presumably, only he and Di Ling could reach this level. Stopping laughing, he looked around in all directions. Suddenly, he revealed a puzzled look. Why didn't he see Di Ling's figure? Could it be that guy went to the 7th layer of heaven? He was surprised. In fact, he didn't know that just before he entered the 6th layer of heaven, Di Ling also chose to withdraw. Di Ling was the first to reach the 6th layer. Compared to the others, he was much earlier. Therefore, he had enough time to comprehend and even attack the 7th layer of heaven. But in the end, he was desperate. He couldn't open the 7th layer of heaven. Coupled with the time factor, Di Ling decisively chose to withdraw. In his opinion, even if he was in the 6th layer of heaven, he was still the first. He even felt that no one could set foot on the 6th layer of heaven. Ghostly didn't know where Di Ling went, but he didn't care. He was now going to use all his strength to attack the heavenly thunder sound. In the 6th layer of heaven, he only attacked 3 heavenly thunder sound. And in the end, he didn't break through the 7th layer of heaven. So he could only choose to withdraw. The 5th layer of heaven. Lin Xian and Xinjingqiu opened their eyes. They began to attack the 6th layer of heaven. Lin Xian attacked first. His body shone brightly, like a sun. His eyes were like lightning. He attacked aggressively. At this moment, he attacked with sword Qi. The 5 elements sword moved freely in the sky, slashing the heavens and destroying the earth. It tore a huge crack in the 6th layer of heaven. Then, Lin Xian walked up. "Qiu, it's up to you." Xinjingqiu nodded. She used her spiritual body, which caused her cultivation level to increase greatly. Naturally, she broke through the barrier of the 6th layer of heaven. The 2 of them finally arrived at the 6th layer of heaven. When they arrived, there was no one around. Xinjingqiu said in surprise. "Did they go to the 7th layer of heaven?" Lin Xian said. "Not necessarily. They might have already withdrawn. Don't worry about them. Let's continue." Lin Xian attacked with sword Qi in all directions. Finally, he attacked with the 9 heavenly thunder sounds. Then, he sat down with his legs crossed. Xinjingqiu attacked with the 7 heavenly thunder sounds. When the 9 heavenly thunder sounds echoed in the 9th layer of heaven, the people below went crazy. The 6th 9 heavenly thunder sounds. Damn it! How far did the Imperial Mausoleum go? At the fourth layer of heaven, there were only a dozen people. Among them, Wang Xiaofeng and Yu Qianye were there. Wang Xiaofeng's face darkened. She did not break through the barrier of the fifth layer of heaven. Now that she heard the sixth 9 heavenly thunder sounds, she was shocked. She chose to give up. If she stayed any longer, she would break down. When she disappeared into the fourth layer of heaven, she glanced at Yu Qianye. At this moment, Yu Qianye's hair was disheveled and his eyes were red. He looked like a lunatic. Indeed, Yu Qianye had been attacking aggressively for the past few days, but he still could not break through the fifth layer of heaven. This made him feel hopeless. The others were also shocked, especially the people from Peerless City, who were even more shocked. 6 heavenly thunder sounds. God! Is this guy really going to challenge Senior Brother Fu's record? If he could reach the 7th layer of heaven and attack with the 7th 9 heavenly thunder sounds, he would be able to tie the record. It was too shocking. How many years had it been? Finally, a peerless monster appeared. This guy is not ordinary. The elder's eyes lit up. His physique is definitely not ordinary. It should be one of the strongest physiques in the world. His sword chi is even more terrifying. That sharp aura shocked me. I wondered what kind of swordsmanship he practiced. This is getting more and more interesting. He felt that Lin Xian was too interesting. He wanted to see if Lin Xian could break the record of Wushuang City. Chapter 3646. Outside the 9th heaven, figures appeared one after another. Many of them were disappointed because most of them did not even reach the 1st heaven. These people were naturally eliminated. They could only return to the crowd with disappointed faces. If they wanted to participate in the holy city's assessment, they could only wait for the next time. And the next time, it would be hundreds or even thousands of years later. So how could they not feel despair? Most of the people who reached the 9th heaven only reached the 1st heaven and could not advance any further. Those who could reach the 2nd heaven or above were few and far between. Although they could only reach the 1st heaven, these people were also incomparably excited because they had finally obtained the qualifications to enter the next round. To them, it was a great honor. Those who had successfully ascended to the 9th heaven were standing in another void. Moreover, it was distributed according to their results. Above them, there were figures that appeared. They were all from the 9th heaven. Suddenly, someone exclaimed, "Look, it's Di Ling!" Above the 9th heaven, a figure appeared. His expression was cold, his gaze was cold, and there was a trace of dominance. It was the first place of the 8 great prodigies. Heavens, look! His position was far above those people, and he was surrounded by the 5 heavenly thunders. Everyone looked carefully and found that Di Ling's position was very special. It could be said that he was the highest one. However, some people also found that something was wrong. Why was he only surrounded by 5 heavenly thunder sounds? It shouldn't be, didn't he use the heavenly thunder 9 sounds? Indeed, they just heard the heavenly thunder 9 sounds. Could it be that it was not from Di Ling? Heavens, how was that possible? Everyone was in an uproar and discussed spiritedly. At this time, a few more figures appeared. It was Shi Bufan and the others. It was the 8 great prodigies. They also found that it was Ji Shui Tiancheng and the others who came out. These people were at the 5th heaven. They found Shi Bufan, Ji Shui Tiancheng, and a few others below Di Ling. Obviously, they were at the 5th heaven. It seemed that Di Ling was the highest at the moment. However, even Di Ling had only reached the 6th heaven. There was still a gap of 3 levels to reach the 9th heaven. It was estimated that no one could surpass him. Just as he finished speaking, the crowd discovered that beside the mausoleum, at the same height, another figure had appeared. Heaven, there was actually someone who had ascended to the 6th heaven. Who was it? At this moment, the universe was in an uproar. Even Shi Shui Tiancheng, Shi Bufan, and the others glanced over too. Di Ling was also surprised. Someone had actually reached the same height as him? Who was it? He narrowed his eyes. In the next moment, he saw a familiar figure and snorted coldly. It was ghostly. Thinking about it, only the other party could be compared to him. He took a closer look and realized that Ghostly only had these 3 heavenly thunder roars circling around him. This made him laugh. 3 heavenly thunder roars of the 6th layer of heaven were much weaker than his. Feeling Ling's mocking gaze, Ghostly's face darkened. Damn it, he was short of 2 heavenly thunder roars. He was really unwilling to accept it. If he had enough time, he would definitely continue to try, but he didn't dare to take the risk. Although this outcome made him unhappy, it was still within his expectations. Originally, among the 8 geniuses, he was ranked second only to Ling. Now, his result was also second to Ling. To him, it was still acceptable. Anyway, this was just the first stage. At most, he would just have to wait for the next stage. He would just have to surpass the other party. Do you think that you can surpass me just because you hit a few heavenly thunder roars? You're too naive. Even if you hit the perfect heavenly thunder roars in the previous few heavens, you're still not my opponent. Ling's voice rang out. He had already guessed that this would be the result. However, Ghostly was stunned. What did you say? What heavenly thunder roars? Weren't you the one who hit them? Below, Shui Tianqing, Shi Bufan, and the others were also stunned. Damn it, what was going on? It wasn't Ling? Then who was it? Was it Ghostly? Ling was also stunned. What did you say? I hit them? I didn't hit the heavenly thunder roars. It wasn't you who did it? He had always thought that it was Ghostly, but looking at Ghostly's appearance, it wasn't him. This scene caused an uproar. Heaven, what was going on? It wasn't Ling who hit the heavenly thunder roars. It wasn't Ghostly who hit the heavenly thunder roars. Then who was it? Heavens! Who was it? To hit 6 heavenly thunder roars, could it be that there were still several monsters in the 9 heavens? For a moment, the crowd was discussing. In Shui Sky City, Shi Bufan and the others were shocked beyond words. Ghostly and Ling, after the initial shock, also sucked in a breath of cold air, then their faces sank. They had always thought that it was the other party who hit the heavenly thunder roars, but now they realized that it wasn't. It wasn't the 2 of them, but someone else, and that person was still in the 9 heavens. Damn it, who was it? Who was it? Could it be that there was a hidden peerless expert? Their eyes burst out with a biting cold light, looking at the 9 heavens, wanting to see through it. What was going on? Which expert was it? At this time, a few more figures flashed out. Among them, Yang Hao, Wang Xiaofeng, and the others also appeared. Their position was below Shui Sky City, the position of the 4th heaven. You're out. When Shui Sky City saw Wang Xiaofeng, they also breathed a sigh of relief. But Wang Xiaofeng's face was incomparably dignified. She said, Shui, something big happened. Someone hit the heavenly thunder roars. And it was several heavenly thunder roars. You don't need to say this, we know. Shi Bufan said in a deep voice. Shui Tiancheng also nodded. We know, and now we know that it wasn't the mausoleum, nor was it Gaili who made it. Damn it, who was it? I know who it was, Wang Xiaofeng said. What? You know, Shui Sky City was stunned. Even Ling and Ghostly cast their gaze over. This gaze caused the illusory technique around Wang Xiaofeng to shatter. Wang Xiaofeng felt a great pressure. Without others asking, he said that it was Lin Woody who hit it. Lin Woody? Who was this? What an unfamiliar name. Those people were completely stunned, and the surrounding onlookers also stared with their eyes wide open. Damn it, who dared to use the name Woody? Was he crazy? Could it be that there was an existence more terrifying than Ling? At this moment, the crowd was in an uproar, and heated discussions once again. But Shi Bufan and Shui Sky City's pupils shrank, and their faces became extremely frightened. Others did not know this name, but he knew that Lin Woody had appeared in the small martial arts competition and easily defeated the 2 of them. At that time, the other party said that he would come to participate in Wushuang City's assessment, but until now, they had not seen him. However, the other party really appeared, so who was he? Why did they not recognize him? Chapter 36-47. The others were also puzzled. Who was so bold to use the name Woody? He was too reckless. But soon, the news of the martial arts conference spread. It turned out that Lin Woody had once sent Sher Buffon flying with a punch. And he had easily defeated Shurshui Sky City, which shocked everyone. They knew how terrifying Shurshui Sky Star and Sher Buffon were. Someone could win so easily. He was definitely a peerless genius. And it was said that he had won in their strongest areas. If that was the case, the other party was definitely not an arrogant person, but a heaven-defying elite. They were completely curious. Who was it? Who was this Lin Woody? The people of Peerless City also had strange expressions. That kid dared to use Woody as his name, he was really arrogant. Their expressions were incomparably strange. Only they knew who had struck out the nine-shade sky thunder. Gui Li and Di Ling were stupefied. They didn't expect such a terrifying person to be here. They had heard of Lin Woody before, but they did not pay attention at that time. In their opinion, the matter was just exaggerated. In this world, who dared to call himself Woody? If Di Ling did not dare, who else dared? But now, this person had appeared again, and he was extremely powerful. Who was it? Who was this Lin Woody? Hurry up and tell me. Di Ling's voice was loud, and his eyes were like the sun. It made Wang Xiaofeng uncomfortable. She was about to open her mouth to say something, but at that moment, everyone was stunned. Di Ling did not care anymore. He suddenly turned his head and stared at the nine heavens. Because the nine-shade sky thunder had sounded, the world was filled with a roar that did not dissipate for a long time. Everyone was completely shocked. God, the seven-shade sky thunder. Could it be that Lin Woody had struck out? Everyone went crazy. There was silence between heaven and earth. Only the nine-shade sky thunder surrounded them. The people of Peerless City were also stunned. Damn it, he had struck out the seven-shade sky thunder. He had tied Senior Brother Fu's record. The elder from Wushuang City also sucked in a breath of cold air. Something big was about to happen. His palms formed a seal, and a small array instantly sent the news back to the headquarters of Peerless City. Lin Woody, it was Lin Woody who struck out. God, he was too heaven-defying. Was he going to sweep all the way? 7 heavenly thunder 9 sounds. This meant that he had already reached the 7th layer of heaven. He had already surpassed Di Ling and Ghostly. Screams rang out one after another. Everyone was in an uproar. Indeed, someone actually surpassed the Emperor Mausoleum. It really was too inconceivable. Di Ling's face was incomparably gloomy. Damn it, he had never thought that someone would be able to surpass him. Even though Ghostly was on the same level as him, he still had 2 less heavenly thunder roars than him. But now, someone boasted that he had reached the 7th layer of heaven. This had completely surpassed him. Damn it, Lin Woody! Di Ling gritted his teeth. He had never hated someone so much. His limelight had been completely stolen by the other party at this moment. He couldn't stand it. Could it be that guy? Ghostly frowned as he thought of someone. Not only him, but a figure also appeared in the minds of Shi Bufan and Shui Tiancheng. The reason for that was because they had personally witnessed someone unleashing the heavenly lightning 9 sounds. However, at that time, they felt that it was a coincidence. Now it seemed that it might not be the case. That person might be Lin Woody. But how could it be Lin Woody? How could it be him? These people did not believe it at all. Now they could only wait for the final result. Look at the person who finally walked out. Who exactly was it? While the outside world was in an uproar, in the 9th layer of heaven, Lin Xian and Xin Jingqiu woke up again. They attacked from the 6th layer of heaven. Among them, Lin Xian broke through the 7th layer of heaven very easily. Xin Jingqiu, on the other hand, was a little strenuous. However, in the end, with the help of her spiritual body of heaven and earth, she managed to reach the 7th layer of heaven and earth. In the 7th layer of heaven, Lin Xian unleashed the heavenly lightning 9 sounds again. He only managed to unleash the heavenly lightning 6 sounds. A few days later, the two of them opened their eyes. Chiao, let's go, Lin Xian said. Xin Jingqiu shook her head. Brother Lin, I feel that I have reached my limit. I don't think I can go any further. As a genius, her intuition was very accurate. Xin Jingqiu, on the other hand, knew that her limit should be the 7th layer of heaven. She did not force it. She said, Brother Lin, you are different from me. You should be able to go further. So go ahead, don't worry about me. Chiao, I will wait outside for you to come back victorious. All right. Lin Xian nodded. He could tell that Xin Jingqiu already had a hard time reaching the 7th layer of heaven. Thinking about the 8th layer of heaven, Chiao, wait for me outside. Chiao wants to see Brother Lin reach the 8th layer of heaven with her own eyes. Xin Jingqiu lifted her small face. Lin Xian did not say anything. His expression was very serious. The 8th layer of heaven was not a game. He had to do his best. The aura on his body was rising. He had already used his 9 yang divine body to the extreme. The aura of the 8th layer of heaven was too strong. Even with his divine body, he couldn't withstand it. Boom! The black Qilin tattoo on his body was activated. It covered his entire body. Only then did he manage to withstand the terrifying aura of the 8th layer of heaven. It was just the aura. He had not attacked yet. Once the battle started, this aura would be even more terrifying. The heavens and earth trembled. A terrifying aura spread out. Everyone in the entire star region felt a sense of oppression. They were terrified. Damn it, what's going on? Someone took a deep breath. It seemed like someone was going to break through to the 8th layer of heaven. What? Are you saying that Lin Wudi can continue to break through? That's unbelievable. At this moment, everyone looked at the 9th layer of heaven. They were all waiting. Will he succeed? The people of Wushuang City were also very nervous. Is this kid still going to try? Isn't that too unbelievable? Is Senior Fu's record going to be surpassed? No. Even if he reached the 8th layer of heaven, he would not surpass Senior Fu's record. Unless he could hit the 8th heavenly thunder 9 sounds. But if he reached the 8th layer of heaven, he would be tied with 2 records. These people were too shocked. Wushuang City had 2 records in the 9th layer of heaven. The first was Fu Hongye's record of reaching the 7th layer of heaven and hitting all 7 heavenly thunder 9 sounds. The second record was set by another person. This person was the first-generation disciple of Wushuang City, Linghu Chuixue. This person had reached the 8th layer of heaven and hit the 8th heavenly thunder 8 sounds. Fu Hongxue was the record holder of the heavenly thunder 9 sounds. Linghu Chuixue had reached the highest 8th layer of heaven. These 2 people were the strongest in their respective fields. Now, Lin Xian had tied with Fu Hongye's 7 heavenly thunder 9 sounds. If he could reach the 8th layer of heaven, then he might tie the record of the highest layer of heaven. How could the people of Wushuang City not be excited? Chapter 3648. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Within the void, a formation appeared. Following which, a figure walked out of it. The appearance of the figure made many people confused. Is someone here? Who is it? On the other hand, the faces of the people from Wushuang City changed. Senior Brother Fu, you actually came personally. The person who came was Fu Hongye. He was here too. I heard that someone tied my record and is trying to break through to the 8th heaven. He was indeed very surprised. One had to know that being able to use the heavenly thunder 9 sounds was already very heaven-defying. It's that guy. The people from Wushuang City pointed at the array. Only they could see the array formation. Fu Hongye looked through the array formation, and in the next moment, he was stunned. It's him. He was surprised and said, Interesting. I didn't misjudge him. Senior brother, do you know this guy? The few people from Wushuang City were shocked. Even the elder said, Hongye, what's going on? Elder, do you remember that I said that I met an interesting guy in the first astral realm? It's him. You mean that guy? The elder from Wushuang City was shocked. He had heard that there was someone who was strong in the first astral realm. He fought with the geniuses from Sky Thunder City and was not at a disadvantage. They were shocked. Therefore, they were very curious. If such a person could join Wushuang City, it would be great for them. They didn't expect it to be this guy in front of them. This guy is called Lin Woody. Isn't he too arrogant? The people from Wushuang City were shocked. Hearing this, Fu Hongye laughed. Lin Woody? That's right. It's him. You don't know that this name is famous in the first astral realm. Just wait and see. He will cause a storm in the second astral realm. A smile appeared on Fu Hongye's face, as Lin Xian was someone he had high hopes for. But could he enter the eighth heaven? He wasn't sure. Back then, he didn't even enter the seventh heaven. Lin Xian's aura was getting stronger and stronger. The energy from the eighth heaven was also getting more and more terrifying. Xin Jingqiu had already retreated to the edge of the seventh heaven. The force in the sky was too much for her to bear. At this time, Lin Xian made his move. He raised his hand and a sword energy shot out like a divine sword, illuminating the 9 heavens and 10 earths. Boom! The pressure of the 8th heaven also poured down. It was as if a real sky was pressing down. The two collided, releasing an incomparable aura. The sword chi was sent flying, but Lin Xian did not stop at all. Instead, he continued to attack. The sword chi flew out and turned into a huge dragon. It roared at the sky with an extremely powerful roar. The black Qilin tattoo on his body also let out a roar. The battle erupted. Lin Xian made a powerful move, and he felt an immense pressure. This pressure was even more terrifying than that of the 7th heaven clans. Outside, energy filled the air and the 9 heavens trembled. Everyone knew that the people inside were starting to attack. They held their breath. He waited nervously. Do you think Lin Woody will succeed? That shouldn't be possible. That's right. He hit 7 heavenly thunder 9 sounds. It was already heaven-defying. He even tied a record. Moreover, it was said that in the entire Wushuang City, there was only one person who successfully stepped into the 8th heaven among the 2 generations of disciples. That was the first generation's chief disciple, Linghu Chuexue. Other than him, no one else could do it. Everyone was excited. They felt that it was really worth it to be able to come this time. They did not expect to see such an amazing feat. They probably wouldn't see it even once in a few thousand years. Di Ling and the others looked gloomy, especially Di Ling. He was clenching his teeth. Damn it. He can't succeed. He can't succeed. He could not bear it. Someone had surpassed him. And now, he was going to step into the 8th heaven. He prayed in his heart that he could not succeed. The 7th heaven. Xin Jingqiu was also extremely nervous. Because at this moment, the battle had reached its climax. However, Lin Xian still had not broken through the 8th heaven. It was unbelievable. One had to know that previously, Lin Xian had been able to shatter the sky with a single punch. Now, after fighting for so long, he still could not break through. It was unbelievable. Boom! Lin Xian waved his hand. The 5 elemental laws turned into a giant dragon and rushed into the sky. The 8th heaven kept shaking. However, it did not break. Instead, a divine chain hung down, trying to pierce through Lin Xian. Lin Xian's body swayed. He used the Kunping movement technique to the extreme. Damn it! If that's the case, I can only use that thing. His expression was extremely serious. It would be difficult to break through the 8th heaven with ordinary means. Then, he could only use the Emperor weapon to attack. In the 9th heaven, sacred weapons were not allowed. Therefore, he could not use the Great Destruction Spear or the Great Sage Pagoda. He could only rely on his own strength. He had the Great Dragon Sword Spirit. He could use everything. He was ready to use the Emperor weapon. He had seen a few Emperor weapons. For example, the Dragon Clan's Thousand Dragons diagram, Jade Lake's Desolate Tower, and even the Hanwu Emperor's Hidden Immortal Pagoda. Lin Xian was ready to use the Hidden Immortal Pagoda. He waved his hand and roared. The 9-yang divine body was activated. The Qilin tattoo kept roaring. The laws of the 5 forms rushed out. The great dragon sword spirit in his body kept circulating. He waved his hand. He was going to form the hidden immortal pagoda in the 8th heaven. Then, he would break through the barrier of the 8th heaven and enter. The great dragon sword spirit could use everything. At this moment, it really formed an ancient pagoda in the 8th heaven. It could kill immortals and gods. The pagoda was too terrifying. The moment it appeared, the entire 9th heaven shook again. The people outside were completely stunned. Damn it! What happened? Could it be that someone really used a sacred weapon? The aura was too terrifying. The eyes of the Wushuang city's envoys shone with cold light. Fu Hongye was shocked. The elder was even more shocked. Through the array, they could see that there was no one in the 8th heaven. However, a pagoda appeared. The aura made their hair stand on end. Was that a sacred weapon? Damn it! Why would a sacred weapon appear? The disciples of Wushuang City screamed. However, the elder and Fu Hongye looked serious. Fu Hongye said that it was not a sacred weapon. It should be a sacred ability, right? That's right. The elder also nodded. It was something created by a sacred ability. It did not violate the rules. No way. His sacred ability could unleash such a terrifying aura. What kind of sacred ability was that? The disciples could not believe what they had just heard. They were disciples of the sacred city. They had seen everything. However, they had never heard of someone having such a heaven-defying ability. However, the elder's eyes were filled with disbelief. He said, "If I'm not wrong, he should be creating an emperor weapon. An emperor weapon! An extreme weapon! This kid could actually create an extreme weapon. Could it be that he had seen it before? These people were crazy." Chapter 3649. That was an extreme-grade weapon. They had never seen one before. Not to mention them, even the second astral realm did not have one. How could someone from the first astral realm have seen such a thing? Don't underestimate the first astral realm, Fu Hongye said in a deep voice. Haven't you heard of the origin star? Are you saying that the origin star really exists? Everyone was shocked. It definitely exists, and it should be in the first astral realm. Not everyone could go there. It was a dangerous place. The elder looked solemn. They were from the holy city, and had seen a lot. Although the first astral realm was not as powerful as their second astral realm, there were some places that were forbidden. Even a sage king would not dare to go there. Other than some forbidden zones, there were 2 places that were the most mysterious and terrifying in the universe. One was the origin star, and the other was the buried emperor star. One was the starting point, and the other was the end. These 2 worlds also had the most monarch clans, and they also had the most extreme Dao weapons. The monarch races gasped. It seemed that the first astral realm was more mysterious than they had imagined. He wondered if Lin Wude had anything to do with the origin star. In the 8th heaven, the hidden divine pagoda came out and attacked fiercely. The 8th heaven rolled and trembled. Once, twice. On the 19th time, it finally broke through the 8th heaven, and a crack appeared. That was great. Lin Xian roared and shot into the sky, entering the fissure. Brother Lin, you can do it. I'll wait for you outside. Xin Jingqiu called out, and then her figure disappeared from the 7th heaven. Boom! 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 The people from Wushuang City were stunned. He went in. The kid actually went in. Oh God, is he going to tie the record again? At that moment, even Fu Hongye was surprised. The kid had so many tricks up his sleeve. The onlookers were even more shocked. Did Lin Wude really go in? Or did he fail? Impossible. He definitely could not have succeeded. In the Imperial Mausoleum, someone roared. In the next moment, he felt a fluctuation in the void above his head. Then, a figure appeared. He came out. Someone came out. And from the looks of it, it was above the Imperial Mausoleum, It should be Lin Woody. He should have failed. Screams rang out one after another. They looked over carefully. Di Ling and the others looked up into the sky. In the next moment, they saw a figure appear above them. The other party was standing on an auspicious cloud and had an extremely beautiful appearance. A woman. It was Shinjinchio, the holy maiden of the spirit tribe. Everyone was stunned. They naturally knew who Shinjinchio was. Had she already reached the 7th layer of heaven? Could he be Lin Woody? No, the other party was definitely not Lin Woody. Lin Woody was still inside and had not come out. Heavens! Everyone screamed. Di Ling's face darkened. Someone had stepped on his head, and it wasn't just one person. Not to mention Lin Woody, just the fact that Shinjinchio had reached the 7th level of heaven was enough to make his lungs explode. As the leader of the 8 geniuses, he had never taken Shinjinchio seriously. But now, she had surpassed him. Ghostly, Shi Sui, Tianchen, and the others were also stunned. After Shinjinchio came out, she was also speechless. She was now the highest. Di Ling had only reached the 6th level of heaven. This surprised her. Then she smiled. Humph, what Di Ling, he was no match for Brother Lin. Clang! At this moment, a sound caught everyone's attention. Listen, there was a sound. Lin Woody really didn't come out. He had reached the 8th level of heaven. Screams rang out one after another. Di Ling and the others' heads were about to explode. The 8th level of heaven, he had reached the 8th level of heaven. Damn it! Damn it! 1, 2, 3. Did the other party only make 3 sounds? It seemed that the 8th level of heaven was too difficult. Even someone as strong as Lin Woody could only make 3 sounds. It seemed that he was still lacking compared to senior brother Ling Huchuishue. The people from Wushuang City heaved a sigh of relief. Fu Hongye's eyes lit up. Don't worry, this was just the beginning. That kid wouldn't give up so easily. Sure enough, after the 3 sounds, it was the 5 sounds followed by the 7 sounds. At this moment, everyone was nervous. Would the other party be able to strike out the perfect 9 heavenly thunder sounds again? After the 7 sounds, there was no sound. Everyone was stunned. Could it be that this was the end? The elder from Wushuang City sighed. It was a pity. He was only 1 sound away from tying with Ling Huchuishue's record. He should have reached his limit. Fu Hongye sighed. However, at this moment, there was a continuous rumble between heaven and earth. Bolts of lightning struck the 9th level of heaven as if they were going to shatter it. What was going on? Where did the lightning come from? It was a lightning tribulation. Some of the older experts screamed. Someone had broken through in the 9th level of heaven. What? Did he break through? Who was so monstrous? They were extremely surprised. Di Ling and the others were also envious. Although comprehending the heavenly thunder sound had improved their understanding of the laws of heaven and earth and gave them a new understanding, their current strength had also improved compared to when they had just entered. However, none of them had broken through. That was because it was not that easy to break through at this stage. But now, someone had broken through. That was too heaven-defying. It was Lin Woody. He had broken through. The people from Wushuang City looked at the array formation and were dumbfounded. Indeed, in the 8th level of heaven, countless bolts of lightning descended, striking Lin Xian until his skin was charred black. However, Lin Xian was not afraid at all. Instead, he looked up to the sky and laughed. That was great! He had broken through the 9 sounds all the way and had finally broken through. Come on, Lin Xian fought a bloody battle. Finally, his cultivation reached the mid-stage of the 2nd level of Sage. The process lasted for 5 days and 5 nights. Everyone waited patiently. The lightning tribulation in the sky disappeared. Everyone's eyes lit up. Was the breakthrough over? They wondered if it was Lin Woody. What realm was he at now? Everyone was curious. Boom! Between heaven and earth, 9 sounds sounded at the same time. 9 sounds of heavenly thunder. The 8th 9 sounds of heavenly thunder was struck. Everyone went crazy. At that moment, they witnessed a miracle. The people from Wushuang City were even more dumbfounded. Someone had surpassed Ling Huchuishua's record. At the same time, he had also surpassed Fu Hongye's record. That was because Lin Wuti had continuously ascended to the 8th level and struck 8-9 sounds of heavenly thunder in the sky. That was equivalent to a new record for Wushuang City. At that moment, everyone was in an uproar. They sent the news back to Wushuang City. Wushuang City was also in a state of shock. Yet another figure had arrived. Chapter 3650. It was a man in snow-white robes. He had a small mustache and gave off a mature vibe. He was the eldest disciple of the first generation. His name was Ling Huchuishue, senior brother. When the people of Peerless City saw him, they all bowed. Even Fu Hongye bowed. Did someone break our record? Ling Huchuishue was shocked as he looked at the 9th heaven. The next moment, he took a deep breath. This kid is so strong. It seems that this time, Peerless City will welcome a new monster. Lin Xian's breakthrough and the 8 heavenly thunder 9 sounds he unleashed had completely shocked everyone. They all knew that a new monster was about to appear, but they were very curious about who it was. That kid should be coming out soon. Yes, he has already reached the 8th heaven. He probably won't be able to break through the 9th heaven. Legend has it that no one can break through it. Even the eldest disciple of Peerless City couldn't do it. He probably won't be able to reach the 9th heaven. Everyone was discussing intensely. They felt that it was about time for him to appear. The people of Peerless City also said, "Senior brother, do you think he can reach the 9th heaven?" When they asked this, their faces were also full of anticipation. Fu Hongye's eyes flickered. Ling Huchuishue also frowned slightly and said, "It's not certain. I've never seen anyone who can break my and junior brother Fu's record. Now that such a person has appeared, he might really be able to break it." Break the legend? Does senior brother Ling Hu think he can reach the 9th heaven? The people of Peerless City were really shocked. Fu Hongye also nodded. It's possible that the 9th heaven isn't just a competition of strength, but more of the comprehension of the laws. This kid can produce 8 heavenly thunder 9 sounds. His comprehension of the laws is far beyond others. Therefore, he's really hopeful. Countless pairs of eyes looked towards the 9th heaven. At the 8th heaven, Lin Xian sat cross-legged and began to thoroughly comprehend. After 49 days, he opened his eyes. Then, he raised his head and looked at the 9th heaven. There was only one last heaven left. Lin Xian naturally wouldn't shrink back. No matter what, he would give it his all. In the 8th layer of heaven, he could feel that his laws had become stronger again, and the speed of this increase was extremely fast. It was much faster than the previous few heavens. Therefore, he thought that if he could step onto the last layer of heaven, then he might be able to break through again. This kind of opportunity was hard to come by for him. If he missed this opportunity, there would be too many men for him to break through in other places. His figure burst out and rushed to the 9 heavens. It collided with the 9 heavens. Sword Qi rumbled all over his body, and the roar of the Qilin also appeared. Countless divine chains of laws hung down from the 9th heaven, releasing billions of rays of light. It was dazzling. The two collided, releasing a sonorous sound. Terrifying power erupted, shaking the 9 heavens. The people outside all held their breaths. They knew that Lin Wuti was trying to break through the last layer of heaven. At this moment, most people hoped that Lin Wuti would succeed, because they wanted to witness a legend. However, there were also a portion of people who were gnashing their teeth and praying in their hearts. Damn it, no, he must not succeed. Among them were Ghostly, Di Ling, and the others. Even if they were beaten to death, they didn't want the other party to succeed. Because if the other party succeeded, then he would be a legend. In the 9th heaven, Lin Xian was sent flying back, spitting out a mouthful of blood. The impact here was too strong. Even he couldn't withstand it, but he wouldn't let go. With a roar, the dragon sword spirit in his body surged crazily, and the dragon-shaped sword she slashed in all directions. He rushed up once again. the laws of the 9 heavens became even more dazzling. It was as if immortal light was constantly sweeping across. The two collided, and every strike was earth-shattering. The people of Peerless City felt their scalps go numb. This kid was really too terrifying. He could actually reach such a level. Fu Hongye and Ling Huchuishue also had solemn expressions. It was too forced. With Lin Xian's current state, he might not be able to break through. However, Lin Xian still had a trump card. With a wave of his hand, the phantom of the hidden immortal pagoda appeared and began to attack from above. He condensed the 10,000 dragons picture and attacked from below. The phantom of the two extreme weapons bloomed with billions of rays of light, and a powerful aura swept across the 9 heavens and 10 lands. Boom! Boom! This battle was earth-shattering. It had been 4 days and 4 nights, but Lin Xian still hadn't broken through. His body was covered in wounds, and his body was already broken. However, his eyes were getting brighter. Kill! Lin Xian roared crazily, and the sword chi on his body rushed out, completely enveloping the entire 8th heaven. At this moment, nothing could be seen. Even the people of Peerless City couldn't see through the array. They could only see a golden light, and they couldn't see Lin Xian's figure at all. It seemed that it was really too forced. Those people shook their heads. It had been 4 days and 4 nights, and he still hadn't broken through. This was probably the kid's limit. The spectators further away were also discussing. He was still 1 step away. There was no other way. The 9th heaven was a mythical existence, and no one could reach it. No matter how strong Linwoody was, he couldn't reach it. Yes, he was already very heaven-defying now. He had broken 2 records of Peerless City. Everyone felt that Lin Xian had stopped here. Di Ling, Ghostly, and the others snorted. Their expressions were cold. Although they were still unhappy, they knew that Lin Xian had stopped and couldn't enter the last heaven. They were gloating in their hearts. Buzz! At the 8th heaven, Lin Xian used the sword chi to envelop the entire space, and then he summoned the great dragon sword soul. On his hands, the 5 elemental laws revolved. He held the great dragon sword soul, and an unparalleled light burst out from his eyes. Explode! At this moment, he didn't hold back. The great dragon sword soul kept roaring, absorbing the power of heaven and earth, and began to explode. The green sword shadow roared between heaven and earth. At this moment, everyone felt their scalp go numb. An incomparably terrifying aura permeated the air. Damn it, what was that? Everyone went crazy. The people of Peerless City were also terrified. That kid, did he summon an extreme weapon again? Why was it so terrifying this time? Damn it, I can't see what he's doing with the golden light. He must have done it on purpose. Ling Huchuishue took a deep breath. This aura? Impossible, that kid actually has a trump card? Ghostly and the others' faces changed drastically. Shui Tianchen, Shi Bufan, and the others were shocked. This power was really too strong. Previously, they were still unconvinced, thinking that they were careless last time and wanted to compete with Lin Wudi again. But now it seemed they didn't lose unjustly. Lin Xian's methods were too shocking. Even if they fought with Lin Xian again, they were afraid that they wouldn't be his opponent. At this moment, the people who were left in the 9th heaven were even more horrified. They trembled, kneeled on the ground, and kept worshipping, thinking that a god had come out. Chapter 3651. Yu Qianye was still in the 4th layer of heaven. His face was full of despair, and he was awakened by the power. Damn it, how could this power be so strong? Who was this person? He was so frightened that he almost peed his pants. Lin Xian held the great dragon sword soul in his hand and split the sky open. At this moment, an unparalleled power erupted. At this moment, everyone thought that the end of the world had arrived. The roar between heaven and earth lasted for a few days before it gradually subsided. At the same time, they were excited. Did Lin Wudi succeed? Did he enter the last layer of heaven? The people of Wushuang City stared at the array. In the next moment, someone screamed. He really entered. In the ninth layer of heaven, in the originally empty space, a figure suddenly appeared. This person had cracks on his body and blood was flowing, but his eyes were incomparably cold with a bright light. It was Lin Xian. He went in, he actually went in. The people of Wushuang City were stunned. What an unbelievable kid! Fu Hongya was also very surprised. Although he was optimistic about Lin Xian, he did not expect Lin Xian to have such potential. It was completely out of his expectations. On the other side, Ling Huchuishue sucked in a breath of cold air. He was the only one who reached the 8th layer of heaven. He also tried to break through the 9th layer. However, he failed. He knew how terrifying the 9th layer of heaven was. It was not only about strength, but also something else. Therefore, no one could enter. But now, someone actually succeeded. It seemed that the days ahead would not be lonely. There was finally a top monster on the ancient path of heaven. On the other side, Di Ling, Guili, and the others went crazy. The other party succeeded. How could it be? They could not believe it. They could not accept it. They really did not expect that there was such a heaven-defying person beside them. In Stillwater Sky City, Shi Bufan, Wang Xiaofeng, and the others were also shocked. Now, they no longer had any hostility. Instead, it was replaced by a touch of panic. Wasn't it courting death to make an enemy of such a person? Shinjingqiu squinted her crescent-shaped eyes. She was really happy. Brother Lin was really amazing. So this is the 9 heavens. I'm really curious. In the 9th layer of heaven, Lin Xian appeared. He felt the aura around him and was incomparably shocked. This kind of aura was very strange, and it couldn't be described with words. Lin Xian felt very comfortable here. It was as if the world had just been born. For a moment, he fell into an epiphany. Half a month later, he opened his eyes. So this was what he looked like. His eyes grew brighter and brighter, and he now completely understood some parts of the laws that he didn't understand. He had undergone a sublimation. Then, he began to walk in the void. Every time he landed, a golden lotus would rise from under his feet. This was the golden lotus of the Great Path. It was a manifestation of the great Tao of heaven and earth. If anyone else was here and saw this scene, they would definitely be so shocked that they would piss their pants. Lin Xian's comprehension of laws had actually reached such a level? Every step he took was accompanied by the sound of heavenly thunder. After 9 steps, 9 to 10 sounds of heavenly thunder were heard, circling the world. At the same time, a leaf floated over from the sky and landed in front of Lin Xian. The aura emitted from the leaf was really too mysterious. Lin Xian felt all the pores on his body open. This was the leaf of Tao Comprehension Tea. He was stunned. Tao Comprehension Tea was said to be a divine tree between heaven and earth. The leaves of Tao Comprehension Tea contained the great Tao of heaven and earth. If one could obtain it, it would definitely be a great opportunity. Rumor had it that only great emperors could find the true Tao Comprehension Tea. It was very difficult to find the rest. They could only obtain 1 or 2 leaves of Tao Comprehension Tea from ancient ruins or some forbidden grounds. He didn't expect that he would actually obtain a leaf of Tao Comprehension Tea in the 9 heavens. This was great. He placed the leaf of Tao Comprehension Tea between his eyebrows, sat down cross-legged, and began to comprehend. The people outside were also going crazy. The sound of heavenly thunder was heard again, and there were 9 of them. Not only did the other party enter the 9th layer of heaven, but he also struck out the 9th heavenly thunder 9 sounds. This was a kind of perfection. No one could do better than the other party. This was already a kind of extreme. Everyone was amazed. What kind of monster was this? Even the great emperors of ancient times were not like this when they were young. Everyone was extremely surprised by this. They didn't expect to see such a heaven-defying youth this time. They were afraid that when the other party grew up in the future, it was very likely that he would become a great emperor. All kinds of envious voices were heard. After the other geniuses heard it, their scalps went numb, and their faces were full of envy. The charm of the great emperors of ancient times? It was really too enviable. At the same time, they also had a kind of despair. It was the greatest misfortune to be born in the same era as such a monster. They were afraid that they would be suppressed by the other party for the rest of their lives. Damn it, how was this possible? Ghostly gritted his teeth, and his eyes were about to pop out. On the other side, Di Ling's face was also incomparably pale. The quality of the great emperors of ancient times? The other party was not qualified at all. His eyes burst with a biting, cold, killing intent. Kill the other party. He must take advantage of this opportunity to kill the other party. No one could surpass him. The fire of jealousy in his heart burned fiercely. On the other side, the people of Peerless City were also stunned. They didn't expect that the other party had not only broken 2 records, but also a new one. This record was probably the ultimate record. No one would be able to surpass it in the future. At most, it would be a tie. This guy was too monstrous. The corners of the Peerless City disciples' mouths twitched. The elder's face was also full of shock. Junior brother, what do you think? Ling Huichuixue asked. Fu Hongye's eyes burst with an incomparably shocking light. His current strength might not be as good as ours, but his talent is really too strong. He's ridiculously strong. I've never seen anyone like him. That's right. Ling Huichuixue also sighed. I've never admired anyone in the younger generation, but now, I actually have a trace of admiration for him. If he goes to the Three-Life Temple, what kind of storm will he cause? The second astral realm has been peaceful for too long. Even if some geniuses rise up, they can't threaten those people. But this time, I think this Lin Woody will be able to disrupt the balance. Perhaps there will be a big reshuffle among the sacred cities. The 2 brilliant powerhouses were also shocked by Lin Xian's performance. Next, everyone waited patiently. They originally thought that the other party would come out soon, but they didn't expect that they would wait for half a year. It was unbelievable. Did the other party meditate for so long? However, half a year was enough for them to wait. The onlookers all wanted to know who Lin Woody was. So they waited patiently. The geniuses who had already succeeded couldn't leave. They were still waiting to enter the next stage. During this time, everyone in 9th heaven came out. When they learned that there was still one person who hadn't come out, their faces were full of shock. Chapter 3652. After Yu Qianye came out, his face was gloomy. At this moment, he had recovered from his mental breakdown. He also knew that his mentality had collapsed, so now he was trying his best to regain his confidence. Otherwise, he would be even worse in the future. When he looked up, he saw Di Ling and the others standing far above him. 6th heaven, this Di Ling was really too strong. Wait, why was there someone above Di Ling? Yu Qianye went crazy again. He had collapsed before and did not know what had happened. In his opinion, Di Ling should be the strongest. But now, there was someone above Di Ling. Who was it? Damn it, it was the holy maiden of the spirit tribe, Xinjingqiu. How could it be? He knew Xinjingqiu's strength, she should be on par with him, maybe even weaker. But now, Xinjingqiu was standing in the 7th heaven. Damn it, what happened? His face was full of shock. Where was that pretty boy? Where was that damn guy beside Xinjingqiu? He looked carefully and found that Xinjingqiu was the only one in the 7th heaven. He sighed in relief. He knew it, how could that pretty boy be so strong? But the other party had entered the 5th heaven, which was unbearable. Under Yu Qianye's gaze, he subconsciously looked towards the 5th layer of heaven. He saw Shi Sui, Tianqing, Shi Bufan and a few others, but there was no sign of Lin Xian. How could it be? Could it be that kid? He was shocked, but he found that there were only 2 people in the 6th heaven, Di Ling and Guili. Where was that kid? Could it be that he died in there? He was really too surprised. He looked around and still did not find any trace of the other party. Could it be that the kid was eliminated? Thinking of this, he was so excited that he was about to cry. That's great. That brat was still showing off. Now he's finally eliminated, right? At this time, the person next to him said, "Oh, that Lin Woody is still not out, what is he doing inside?" He should still be comprehending. It is really enviable. What, there is still someone not out? Yu Qianye instantly became nervous. It seemed that there was still someone in the ninth heaven. Who was it? Could it be that kid? Somehow, Lin Xian's figure appeared in his mind. Impossible! He roared madly in his heart. It was definitely not that kid. According to the discussions of the surrounding people, the one who remained inside was a top genius, someone who had surpassed the imperial mausoleum. Now, he had stepped into the ninth heavenly layer. Such a person was truly dazzling. He had the bearing of an ancient great emperor. How could such a person be that gigolo? However, Lin Xian was no longer around, which made him uneasy. Just like that, he waited for several months. Finally, on this day, the world changed once again. Above the nine heavens, lightning once again poured down in torrents. This time, it was even more violent than before. Did he break through again? Everyone was in an uproar. They had seen this once before. Damn it, Lin Wuti still wanted to break through in half a year. Everyone went crazy. The mouths of the people from Peerless City twitched. The people in the Imperial Mausoleum were so jealous that they almost fainted. Mother Faster, this was not some cabbage making a breakthrough. This was a breakthrough in the Saint Realm. How difficult was it to make a breakthrough in the Saint Realm? Everyone here had experienced it firsthand. Previously, Lin Xian had made a breakthrough in the ninth heavenly layer, which made them extremely envious. Now, he had broken through again. It had only been half a year. They had never heard of a saint who could make 2 consecutive breakthroughs in half a year. It was simply amazing. Even Fu Hongye and Ling Huchuixue had strange looks in their eyes. Wasn't he too monstrous? This time, the lightning tribulation was extremely violent and lasted for more than 10 days. Just when everyone thought that it was going to subside, the lightning tribulation suddenly erupted even more violently, making everyone's scalp tingle. What was Lin Wuti doing in there? He was going to be struck by lightning twice. Di Ling gritted his teeth. Mother Faster, you better be struck to death. After another half a month, the lightning that filled the sky finally disappeared. A figure walked out of the ninth heavenly layer. He's out! Someone shouted. At that moment, countless sages turned their gazes towards the sky. The onlooking powerhouses, the sky prides who had already passed, Di Ling, Gili, Shibufan, and the people from Peerless City all focused on a single figure. It was him. Everyone was dumbfounded. Was he Lin Wuti? That was impossible. Wasn't he a gigolo who lived off a woman? Damn it, how could he be Lin Wuti? Screams of terror rang out one after another. At this moment, other than the people from Peerless City, everyone else started screaming. Because they finally saw Lin Wuti's figure. Lin Wuti was the person beside Xing Jingqiu. He was Xing Jingqiu's husband. That was unbelievable. Wasn't Xing Jingqiu's husband a gigolo? Wasn't he a level 2 saint? It was said that he was an ant from the first astral realm. How could he be such a monstrous genius? They couldn't believe it. However, the other party was now standing above the ninth heavenly layer, looking down on them. They had no choice but to accept this fact. It was him. It was actually him. Shi Bufan, Shi Sui, Tianchen, Wang Xiaofeng, and the others were dumbfounded. They didn't expect the person who defeated them to be Xing Jingqiu's husband. It was actually this kid. Gili and Di Ling were also stunned. Previously, they had looked at Lin Xian with disdain. They thought he was an ant. But now, the other party was above their heads, looking down on them like a god. They couldn't accept the difference in their mentality. Damn it! They vomited blood. Moreover, what shocked them even more was that the other party was a level 2 saint before. A level 2 saint was actually able to break the legend. They were going crazy with jealousy. Yu Qianye was even more scared. How could it be this person? He was most familiar with Lin Xian. Because Lin Xian was someone the Yu clan wanted to kill. When Lin Xian escorted Yusiki back, the Yu clan didn't put him in their eyes at all. They even wanted to kill him mercilessly. Now, not only was he alive, But he was also a monstrous genius. Could it be that the 9 heavenly thunder 9 sounds were all from him? Yu Qianye spat out a mouthful of blood and fell to the ground. He was furious. He was about to die from anger. If he wasn't a saint, he would have been angered to the 18th level of hell. Brother Lin really did it. Shinjingqiu was filled with endless joy. Brother Lin actually broke through to level 3 saint. Suddenly, Shinjingqiu exclaimed. She realized that Lin Xian wasn't a level 2 late stage, but a level 3 early stage. It was too unbelievable. The others also realized this and were dumbfounded. Why do I remember that when this kid first entered level 9, he was a level 2 saint? Yes, level 3 early stage. After half a year, he actually became a level 3 early stage. Damn it, in less than a year, he broke through a big realm. Everyone went crazy. Chapter 3653. Thinking of this, the sage's eyes turned red. One had to know that they might not even be able to break through a small realm in a few hundred years. Some were even stuck for thousands of years. To break through a large realm, it might not even be possible in a few thousand years. But now, Lin Fan had done it in a year. It was unbelievable. Even the top 8 geniuses could not believe it. As the top 8 geniuses, they had strong bloodlines and were supported by big families. But even so, it was impossible for them to break through a realm in a year. Like Yu Qianye, he had spent a lot of effort and resources to achieve it, and he had only broken through a small realm. But now, Lin Fan had broken through a realm in a year. Even the geniuses of the holy city wouldn't be able to do that. Some of the older generation were also amazed. It turned out that Lin Fan had broken through 2 realms in the 9th heaven. It was no wonder that when the lightning tribulation was about to disappear, it suddenly went berserk. That's right, Lin Xian had broken through 2 realms in a row, and finally became a 3rd heaven sage. He had a confident smile on his face as he looked around. This was great. This time, not to mention whether he could become a disciple of the holy city, just this breakthrough alone was enough to make him ecstatic. After becoming a 3rd heaven sage, his strength had undergone an earth-shattering change. He looked down, and when he saw Di Ling and Gui Li, his lips curled into a disdainful smile. If these 2 people made him worry before, and he had to deal with them with all his might. But now, he did not take them to heart. Damn it! Di Ling and Gui Li saw Lin Xian's expression, and their faces darkened. They were actually looked down on by him. It was infuriating. At this time, the elder from Peerless City stood up and said loudly, "All right, the first round of the test is over. Those who have successfully reached the 9th heaven, follow me. You will proceed to the next round of the test." After that, those who had succeeded soared into the sky and flew forward quickly. Shinjingqiu was the first to come to Lin Xian's side, and her eyes were sparkling. "Big brother Lin, you are so handsome." Di Ling, Gui Li, and the rest also came over. They looked at Lin Xian, and their eyes shone with a cold light. "Brat, don't be complacent. Don't be too arrogant. The 9 heavens is not all about strength. Otherwise, do you think you can reach the top?" "That's right, that's what I wanted to say as well. Your good days are over. Because you have already angered me, and no one can step on my head. You can't do it either." Di Ling looked at Lin Xian, his eyes filled with killing intent. "In the 2nd stage, I will let you know what true strength is. Don't think that just because you've comprehended some laws, you can compare to me. You're still far from it." The onlookers in the distance were extremely shocked when they saw this scene. Heaven, Ghostly, and Di Ling were all eyeing this kid. The 2nd stage would be even more intense. That was for sure. The 1st stage was a test of one's talent, bloodline, and comprehension of the great Tao. He let that kid take the lead. But if they really fought, that brat was absolutely not Di Ling's match. Di Ling had many trump cards in his hands. Not to mention the sacred weapon, he had a bronze coffin hidden in his body. Once that thing came out, how could that brat block it? Indeed, if it was a duel, no one thought that Lin Xian could defeat Di Ling. Ji Lian could not even defeat Ghostly. After all, Ghostly had a sacred weapon in his hands. At this moment, Yuqianye also jumped out. He also laughed sinisterly. Brat, I won't let you off either. In a real fight, you're also not my match. He was really mad. Previously, the other party made him collapse in despair. Only now did he recover. He swore that as long as there was a chance, he would not hesitate to kill the other party. The other party was now a third heaven sage, but he was still one round lower than him. It seemed that this brat had offended many people. Fu Hongye narrowed his eyes. Ling Huichuixue laughed. No matter, competition is a good thing. Bring them to the next stage. As he said that, the surrounding Wushuang city disciples quickly came to the void and each took a side. Their palms formed a seal and they formed a teleportation array. They brought these people and disappeared into the sky. Did they leave? The onlookers below were in an uproar. It seemed that the second stage was not held here. It was held somewhere else. They could not watch anymore. However, these people did not leave. They all set up camp. They wanted to wait. Wait until the final result was out. After all, the result was very important to each of their families. The array flickered. After the light disappeared, Lin Xian and the others found that they had arrived at another place. There were buildings and streets all around. It seemed that they had arrived at a city. Someone screamed. Could it be that they had arrived at Wushuang City? That's right. A Wushuang City disciple said that they had indeed arrived at Wushuang City. Then, he briefly explained Wushuang City. After hearing that, the others were shocked. Lin Xian was also surprised. A holy city was as big as 2 worlds. It was really shocking. Not only that, there were countless subsidiary worlds under Wushuang City. It was very enviable. In this assessment, we will accept 3 types of disciples. The best are the core disciples. There are not many of them, a total of 72 people. The quota is fixed. Therefore, you can only become a core disciple if you fight for the top 72. The treatment of the core disciples is very good. It is definitely not inferior to the patriarchs and sect masters of the outside world. Moreover, it is the most central power of Wushuang City. The direct disciples of the Holy King will be selected from the core disciples. This time, the first place will be the chief disciple. He has the highest status among the third-generation disciples. He is also the one who has the highest chance of becoming a direct disciple. If you have the strength, try your best to fight for it. Don't miss this opportunity. Below the core disciples are the ordinary disciples. Their treatment is not as good as the core disciples, but it is better than the elders of the outside world. Don't worry. Hearing that, countless people's eyes lit up. The forces of the outside world, such as the Rain clan, were all big families. However, it was still not comparable to the treatment of the Rain clan's elders in Wushuang City. One could imagine how terrifying Wushuang City's strength was. It was no wonder that so many big families wanted to send their disciples in. Of course, not everyone could become an ordinary disciple. If they failed the second assessment, they could only become a nominal disciple. Nominal disciples were not real disciples of the Holy City. They had to be assessed again in a few months. As long as they passed the assessment, they could be promoted to an ordinary disciple. If they failed the assessment 3 times, they would lose their qualification and leave the Holy City. Hearing that, everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. Heavens, there was the danger of being eliminated. They thought that they could become an ordinary disciple after passing the first assessment. Who would have thought that it was not that simple? Chapter 3654. This time, Wushuang City's assessment had gathered the elites of countless worlds. There were about a few 100 million people participating. And only about 10,000 people could step into the first heaven. Among these 10,000 people, only 72 of them were core disciples. It was not certain how many ordinary disciples there were left. Moreover, there could be vacancies among the core disciples. For example, if only 30 people met the requirements, then there would only be 30 core disciples. The remaining positions would all be empty, and would not be inherited by the weak. It was that cruel. I wonder what the second round is about? Sir Buffon asked. Everyone else was curious as well. After saying so much, they were most concerned about what the second round was about. Wushuang City doesn't care about your current cultivation level or strength. What we care about is your talent. This includes innate talent, such as bloodline and physique. There are also some acquired talents, such as strong will, comprehension of special laws, and comprehension of the great Tao. As long as you are a genius, we will accept you. Therefore, the second round is still about you. We will bring you to a place called the Copper Sparrow Pavilion. It is a very special place. The Copper Sparrow Pavilion is a world of laws created by the Sage King. Inside, your cultivation level will be suppressed. You will be suppressed to the early stage of the first heaven of the Sage King. Everyone will be the same to ensure fairness. Moreover, you will not be able to use your own divine powers. You can only use the martial arts in the Copper Sparrow Pavilion. This way, we will test your talent and see who can cultivate the divine powers the best in the same amount of time. The second round is actually like this. Everyone gasped. They originally thought that they would have to fight in the arena. They did not expect that it would be so special that they would go to a small world created by the Sage King. There were a total of 12 sky steels, 36 earth steels, and 108 Xian steels in the Copper Sparrow Pavilion. Then what is the basis? Is it the ranking of the first round? Someone asked. As soon as this was said, everyone became nervous. If it was really based on the ranking, then the people who fell behind would suffer. The elder shook his head. It's not based on the ranking. Don't worry, Wushuang City will give you the greatest fairness. Everyone can freely choose the divine powers on these steels to cultivate. The time is also the same. However, don't think that the ranking is not important. There are a total of 3 rounds. The total ranking of the 3 stages would be the final ranking, and each stage would have a specific reward. The first place of each stage will be given a leaf of Tao Comprehension Tea. As for the others, they were all ranked according to their rankings. These rewards would be distributed at the end of the 3 tests. The leaf of the Tao Comprehending Tea. Heavens! He was actually so generous. Many people's eyes turned red. These people were all young masters in their respective families, but they didn't have the chance to obtain the Tao Comprehension Tea leaves. Not to mention them, even their family heads didn't have the chance to obtain it. That was because this item was simply too precious. The amount was very small, and it would be divided among countless holy cities. Each holy city would not get much. These 3 might have been left behind after thousands of years of accumulation. Now, they actually wanted to use such treasures as rewards. It really provoked these people. Lin Xian was equally surprised. How could there be such a good thing? He had already experienced the Enlightenment Tea leaves once before. That time, he had directly advanced by 2 small realms, reaching the 3rd heavenly layer. Unexpectedly, there was still more. These 3 Enlightenment Tea leaves must be mine! Lin Xian's eyes burst out with an extremely cold light. The others were also incomparably excited. Di Ling is ambitious. Although I fell behind in the first round, I must obtain the second and third round. Enlightenment Tea leaves? How surprising. I'll accept such a good thing. The corners of Ghost Li's mouth raised into a smile. In addition, although Shi Bufan, Shi Sui Tianqing, and the others did not say anything, it was obvious that they were also determined to obtain it. Soon, everyone arrived at the Copper Sparrow Pavilion. The Copper Sparrow Pavilion was as tall as an ancient building. Everyone knew that it was a world of its own. Sure enough, after entering, they found that it was much wider inside, as if it was a world of its own. Indeed, their cultivation was completely suppressed by the laws of heaven and earth here, and they couldn't use their other divine abilities. Damn, I can't even use my bloodline power. The laws of heaven and earth here are really amazing. It seemed that they could only use their newly learned divine abilities. Everyone was surprised. This was indeed fair enough. In terms of talent, none of you are my match. Di Ling snorted coldly. His cultivation was the highest, and he was the strongest. It was enough to show that his talent was super strong. Ghostly sneered. Is that so? That might not be the case. Don't be trampled under my feet when the time comes. The others also clenched their fists, especially those who were ranked at the bottom. If they really fought according to actual combat, they had no hope. But now, everyone was at the same starting line, they might have a chance. I heard that there are 12 divine monuments. Go quickly, I must learn the divine abilities on the divine monuments. The divine abilities there were the strongest. Many people ran forward. With more than 10,000 people, it did not seem crowded at all. Instead, it was a little spacious. Sure enough, there were stone monuments around. There were a total of 12 shining with golden light. They were divine monuments. 36 shining with purple light. They were earthly monuments. 108 shining with blue light. They were mystic monuments. There were indeed martial arts and divine abilities on these stone monuments, but they were all different. Some were very detailed, some were just a few strokes, as if they could only be understood but not explained. There were all kinds of strange divine abilities. You have 3 months to comprehend it. After 3 months, you will begin the battle. Those who succeed will advance to the next stage of the test. Those who fail will be disqualified. They will be classified as honorary disciples. After half a year, they will take the test again. The voice rang out between heaven and earth. Everyone's expression changed. What? Failure means disqualification. How could it be like this? Everyone went crazy. Previously, they were very confident and wanted to become a core disciple. But now, there was a problem. That was, the person who failed would immediately become an unnamed disciple. This was really too unbelievable. One must know that with more than 10,000 people, at least half of them would be eliminated. It was really too cruel. All right, as for the specific rules of the battle, we will talk about it after 3 months. Now you should hurry up and think about how to cultivate your divine abilities in these 3 months. 4 martial artists from Wushuang City also followed in. They were fighting on one side, and it seemed like they were guarding the order. Hurry up and comprehend. Everyone was in a hurry. Because from this moment on, time had already started counting down. They only had 3 months. Everyone was definitely rushing towards the 12 divine monuments. Because the divine monuments were the least, the martial arts and divine abilities were the most precious. Guili, Di Ling and the rest were also very fast. They were like flowing lights rushing to the front. They each occupied a divine monument, and then looked at it. Get lost! Di Ling roared, the aura on his body exploded, causing the surrounding people to be unable to breathe. Chapter 3655. Although everyone's cultivation was suppressed, Di Ling's name was deeply imprinted in their minds. Hence, they couldn't help but back off. Trash like you think you have the right to comprehend the sky steel with me? Get lost! Or I'll kill you! Di Ling's voice was cold and filled with killing intent. The surrounding people felt their scalps go numb. It's over. What they were worried about the most had happened. If the 8 Sky Prides joined forces to seal the Sky Steel, no one else would have the right to comprehend it. Indeed, the other Sky Prides also rushed towards the Sky Steel and occupied one of the Sky Steels. Yu Qianye let out a sinister laugh and abruptly turned around to glance at Lin Xian. This is great. If he could join forces with Di Ling and the others to suppress Lin Xian, he wouldn't be able to cultivate the Sky Steel. In that case, they would definitely win the second round. Countless people were shocked by the scene. They looked at Lin Xian and wanted to see what Lin Xian would do. Because Lin Xian wasn't one of the 8 Sky Prides. Moreover, he was enemies with some of the 8 Sky Prides. If Lin Xian were to take action, they could help him. At least, they couldn't let the 8 Sky Prides be so arrogant. Xinjingqiu said the same thing. Damn it, these guys are too evil. They actually joined forces to seal the Sky Steel. Brother Lin, let's do it together. Lin Xian smiled. Qiu, don't be anxious. Didn't I say it before? The second round is absolutely fair. Do you think they can do it without breaking the rules? Indeed, a Wushuang city martial artist shouted coldly from afar. Everyone can comprehend the sky steel, no one can occupy it. Those who dare to violate the rules will be expelled and disqualified. The moment he said that, the crowd went into an uproar. Many of them were excited. Great. As for the 8 sky prides, such as Yu Qianye and Di Ling, their faces turned ugly. Damn it, there was such a condition. They couldn't accept it. However, they didn't dare to do anything. If they dared to go against the Wushuang city people, they would probably be expelled immediately. So what if they could comprehend the sky steel? The divine ability on the heavenly steel was not something that anyone could comprehend. Di Ling sneered. Ghostly also raised a ferocious smile. Yu Qianye gritted his teeth. What a pity. This was originally a great opportunity to deal with Lin Xian, but who would have thought that it would be resolved in an instant? Quickly go and comprehend it. The surrounding saints all rushed forward and began to choose their own sky steels. Lin Xian and Xin Jingqiu also left in the morning. Kid, I'll let you know how powerful I am. Just you wait, in 3 months, I will make you kneel and beg for mercy. Yu Qianye gritted his teeth while Lin Xian waved his hand impatiently. What were they shouting for? If they had the time, they might as well spend it on comprehending the stone tablets. Right now, he didn't place Yu Qianye in his eyes at all. It could even be said that he was ignoring the other party. Damn it! I'm so angry! The other party's indifferent expression made Yu Qianye so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. However, now was not the time to make a move. He could only grit his teeth and look at the divine ability on the heavenly steel. Lin Xian also glanced at the 12 heavenly steels and revealed a solemn expression. One had to admit that the divine abilities on the 12 heavenly steels were indeed powerful. There were close combat, long-range attacks, saber, sword, fist, and kick. There was a type of each type, and there was even an eye technique. However, it was not easy to comprehend because these divine abilities were too simple. There were only a few strokes. One could only know what divine ability it was at first glance. However, if one wanted to cultivate it, they would not be able to figure it out. For a moment, everyone's eyes flickered as they started to ponder seriously. Xin Jingqiu frowned. Why couldn't she understand it? This was not something that could be comprehended in a short period of time. The 12 heavenly steels recorded the top divine abilities. It would be too difficult to learn it in 3 months. Lin Xian shook his head. He was not in a hurry to cultivate it. He wanted to understand it more thoroughly. Then, he looked at the 36 earthly steels. These 36 earthly steels also recorded exquisite divine abilities. Looking at the power, it seemed to be weaker than the 12 heavenly steels. However, it was more detailed than the 12 heavenly steels. At least it was enough to make one scratch their heads. Next, Lin Xian looked at the 108 heavenly steels. This time, the divine abilities recorded on them were very detailed. Every step was recorded. Martial artists could follow the instructions and cultivate step by step. The 3 types of stone steels were different. They had different powers and the difficulty of cultivation was also different. The time was also specific. It was only 3 months. Then, in these 3 months, the most important thing was not to occupy the divine abilities on the heavenly steels, but to increase one's combat strength as much as possible. In this way, there would be a problem of distribution. It seemed that the second stage was not that simple. Lin Xian's lips curled up into a smile. He now understood a little. The second stage was not only testing one's talent, but also one's choice. 10,000 people, faced with such a scene, had 10,000 choices. How to choose to maximize one's combat strength. There was a lot of knowledge in this. Were there any connections between the 3 types of stone steels? Lin Xian's eyes flickered. He found a sword technique and looked at it on the heavenly steels. There was a sword technique called Sword of 100 Battles. This was a very strange sword technique. It could transform into various demonic beasts and terrifying heavenly anomalies to fight. It was a little similar to the evolution of the great dragon sword soul. However, the great dragon sword soul could transform into anything. As for the 100 battles sword, it could only transform into specific things for battle. Lin Xian took a look and realized that it could transform into 15 different demonic beasts. Each of them was extremely terrifying. Then, he looked for a similar divine ability on the 36 earthly steels. This divine ability was called Psychic Hand. It could instantly set up some formations and then attack with the help of the heavenly steels. This was a palm technique. The palm would form a formation and obtain some characteristics of the demonic beasts. For example, it would be extremely strong or extremely soft. Lin Xian realized that this psychic hand was somewhat similar to the sword of 100 battles. Then, he began to look at the 12 heavenly steels. The 12 heavenly steels were very simple. It seemed to contain the simplicity of the great Tao. It was impossible to understand. However, Lin Xian could still see some things clearly. For example, he saw one of the heavenly steels. There were only 3 Tao patterns carved on it. However, Lin Xian seemed to be able to see that it was a person summoning something from heaven and earth. It seemed to be something like a soul. In this way, Lin Xian felt that it was somewhat similar to the previous 2 divine abilities. It could be said that it was an upgraded version. There was indeed some connection. He narrowed his eyes. In this way, if he wanted to cultivate the divine ability on the heavenly steels, he could first cultivate the heavenly steels and the earthly steels. Then, he could cultivate the divine ability on the heavenly steels. After thinking about this point, Lin Xian took a deep breath and prepared to take action. He sent a voice transmission to Xinjingqiu and told her what had happened. After Xinjingqiu heard it, she was also surprised. Was this true? He looked around and found that there was indeed some connection. In that case, let's hurry up and cultivate. The 2 of them walked towards the 108 heavenly steels. Chapter 3656. At this moment, everyone was trying their best to cultivate the divine steel's divine powers. Even the earthly steel was rarely visited. As for Lin Xian and Xinjingqiu, they squeezed through the crowd and walked towards the Xian steel. This scene shocked countless people. No way, isn't that Lin Wuti and the holy goddess of the spirit clan, Jingqiu? Why did they leave? Don't they want to comprehend the divine steel? No idea, could it be that they want to comprehend the earthly steel? The competition there is less. They looked carefully and found that the 2 had walked past the earthly steel and came to the Xian steel. Suddenly, these people went crazy. God, they actually chose the Xian steel. How is this possible? The Xian steel looks like the weakest divine powers. These people simply couldn't understand what Lin Wuti was doing. Some people sneered when they saw this. Yu Qianye snorted. Idiot, he actually chose the trashy Xian steel. He really doesn't know what's good for him. He was too excited. If Lin Xian chose the divine steel, he would be under great pressure. But he chose the Xian steel. This way, he had absolute confidence that after 3 months, he could kill Lin Xian to his heart's content. Ghostly sneered when he saw this. Di Ling was even more disdainful. What Lin Wuti, he didn't even have the courage to choose the divine steel. He probably knew that he didn't have the talent to comprehend it. What a joke. If he's like this, I can kill him with 1 hand in the second round. Di Ling was also ambitious. In his opinion, Lin Xian should know that he couldn't comprehend the divine steel, so he chose the easiest Xian steel. Shi Bufan, Shi Sui Tianqin, Wang Xiaofeng and the others were also puzzled. It shouldn't be, Lin Wuti was so powerful, they all knew. Why did he choose the Xian steel? Could it be that there was another mystery? Wang Xiaofeng said to Shi Sui Tianqin. She didn't know what he was doing and didn't know what he found. But I won't leave. My eye of Shi Sui can be used here. I want to comprehend it more efficiently than others. These top experts didn't leave because they had absolute confidence in themselves. With the best things available, why would they settle for the second best? The 4 warriors from Wushuang City who were standing in 4 different directions were surprised when they saw this scene. Could it be that this brat had found out? They were also looking forward to seeing how the peerless genius who had set a new record in the first round would perform in the second round. Lin Xian arrived in front of the 108 Xian tablets. He chose the Sword of 100 Battles because this sword technique was very similar to the Great Dragon Sword Spirit's simulation effect. If he wanted to cultivate, it would definitely be a piece of cake. Chior, these 3 stone steels are all connected to one another. Choose a cultivation technique that you like and cultivate accordingly. The effects should be very good. After saying that, Lin Xian began to cultivate. Xinjingqiu nodded. She also chose a cultivation method to cultivate. It had to be said that the sword technique Lin Xian had chosen was very suitable for him. Therefore, he quickly finished cultivating and stood up with a smile on his face. Next, it was time to comprehend the psychic hand. Lin Xian looked at the 36 earthly tablets, and started to comprehend them. The heavenly tablets were still very lively. However, after a few days some people collapsed. No, they couldn't comprehend it at all. Yes, it was too difficult. They felt that they couldn't figure out the direction. Some people were going crazy. Some people felt that they had to change their strategy. Therefore, they gave up on the heavenly tablets and started to cultivate the 36 earthly tablets. There were also some people who insisted that they would be able to comprehend it after a period of time. However, after a month, most of them were in despair. They now knew that the heavenly tablets weren't easy to comprehend. If they continued to waste time, they wouldn't be able to learn any of the superpowers. If that happened, they wouldn't be able to fight at all. They would only be beaten up. Therefore, these people retreated. Some of them chose the 36 earthly tablets. Some of them even wanted to start cultivating the 108 Xian tablets like Lin Xian. However, there were a few people who didn't move. They were the other 7 of the 8 great geniuses. There were 5 other people who weren't part of the 8 great geniuses. These people were very confident in themselves. They stood in front of the heavenly tablets and continued to comprehend. Although these people's faces were very serious, they didn't look good. It was obvious that they didn't make much progress. However, they believed that once they comprehended a move or 2, their power would definitely surpass everyone else. Another half a month passed. Lin Xian stood up. He had mastered the psychic hand. Next, he would have to comprehend the heavenly tablets. It was the summoning superpowers that he had seen previously. Thinking of this, he walked forward. Lin Xian's arrival shocked everyone. What was going on? Lin Wuyi came to the heavenly tablets again. Could it be that he wanted to comprehend the heavenly tablets? Heavens, he didn't want to comprehend it at first. Now that there was only 1.5 months left, could he comprehend it completely? Everyone was shocked. Then, they shook their heads and ignored him. They couldn't understand Lin Xian's actions. The only one who understood was probably Xinjingqiu. At this moment, Xinjingqiu was also comprehending one of the 36 earthly tablets. She would soon comprehend it, probably in another 3 to 5 days. She would also go to the heavenly tablets. Lin Xian came to the heavenly tablets and sat down cross-legged. He started to comprehend it. His arrival surprised the geniuses at the heavenly tablets. Why was this kid here again? Shui Tianchen and the rest were confused. Yu Qianye snorted. You're courting death. Do you have time to comprehend it completely? To him, it was a waste of time. Di Ling's eyes were filled with disdain. Lin Xian was trying to comprehend the same heavenly tablets as him. Was he courting death? Well, he would use the same superpowers to torture Lin Xian to death. Time passed slowly. The geniuses at the heavenly tablets tried their best to comprehend as many superpowers as possible. Some of them even started to comprehend the earthly tablets' superpowers. However, the geniuses at the heavenly tablets did not do anything. Because if they could comprehend one heavenly tablet in 3 months, it would be great. Finally, another 1.5 months passed, and the 3 months were up. On this day, a voice was heard. Then, A martial artist from Wushuang City said that the time was up and no one was allowed to comprehend it. As soon as he said that, the heavenly tablets shone brightly, and nothing could be seen anymore. Sigh. Many people sighed. They had not comprehended enough yet. This was a great opportunity for them to learn Wushuang City's superpowers. However, there was nothing they could do. The time was up and they could not comprehend it. The 8 great geniuses stood up as well. They looked extremely solemn. The 3 months of comprehension was indeed a unique experience for them. They had never comprehended such a magical superpower under such a tense situation. They wondered how powerful it would be in the end. Chapter 3657. Brat, don't ever meet me. Otherwise, I'll make you wish you were dead. Yu Qianye's eyes were filled with killing intent. This time, he had absolute confidence. He believed that the divine art he unleashed would be able to kill his opponent. Finally, it was time for revenge. He wanted to prove to everyone that he was a genius and his opponent was just a lucky piece of trash. Ghostly looked at Lin Xian and smiled coldly. Di Ling snorted coldly. The first place of this round will definitely be me. You are not my opponent at all. The last time he was surpassed by his opponent was the greatest humiliation in his life. So this time, no matter what, he would trample his opponent under his feet. The others felt their scalps go numb. It seemed that the 8 geniuses were really confident. What kind of power would the divine ability they comprehended be? At this time, the 4 Wushuang City warriors walked out and said coldly, "All right, let's start the test. Follow me." They left the area where the stone tablet was and came to another area. This area was very spacious and it was still within the Copper Sparrow Pavilion. The test this time was very simple. You can choose your opponent, and you can only fight one-on-one. If you succeed, you will advance to the next round. If you fail, you will be eliminated and immediately become an unnamed disciple. However, although it was a one-on-one battle, the winner could continue to fight with others. Everyone can fight at least once and at most 5 times. You should understand, right? Hearing this, many people's faces changed. What? You can challenge 5 people in a row? Their expressions were filled with fear. If Di Ling was such an expert, he would be able to defeat all 5 of them. That would mean that 5 of them would be eliminated. Damn it, if that's the case, not even half of the people would be left. Previously, they thought that the elimination rate was only 50%. But now, it seemed that was not the case. If an expert was really ruthless and joined forces, most of the people would be eliminated. The originally cruel situation had now become even more cruel. Yu Qianye, Ghostly, Di Ling and the others revealed a sinister smile. It was great to be able to challenge 5 people. Yu Qianye jumped out first and stared at Lin Xian. Brat, come here and die. I will ruthlessly trample you under my feet. Lin Xian shook his head. I refuse. Fight with him? What a joke, he was not interested at all. Puff! Yu Qianye spat out a mouthful of old blood. He refused. Damn it, he was looking down on him. Brat, are you a man? If you have the guts, fight with me. You are too weak, I'm not interested. Lin Xian was still shaking his head. Damn it, I will kill you. I'll kill you. Yu Qianye was completely. I'm too weak? Not interested? Brat. He thought Qianye was a saint. Even though he was suppressing his cultivation state, he was someone who had comprehended the mystic skills on the heaven steel. He could definitely take down the other party. Qianye, chill you brat, if you don't dare, then quickly kneel down and kowtow to me. With me as your superior, I can consider sparing your life. Tutuov of the Avtalin Xian finally sighed. I've refused twice, which is equivalent to saving your life twice and giving you 2 chances. However, you didn't cherish it and even dared to provoke me. Since you want to be eliminated so much, I'll fulfill your wish. Lin Xian walked out while the others retreated. The 4 peerless city martial artists formed a seal with their palms, forming an array in the arena. Then, they stood on one side. There was only one rule, which was no killing. Alright, let's begin. Yu Qianye, you should feel lucky that the rule here is that no killing is allowed. Otherwise, you would have died 10 times in a second. Damn brat, don't be so arrogant. Go to hell. Yu Qianye was really mad. Qianye, as a genius, could not tolerate the disdain of Qianye. Heaven-breaking finger. He raised his finger and pointed forward. Suddenly, between heaven and earth, the laws surged and thunder rumbled. Everyone felt their hair stand on end. What kind of divine ability is this? I know, this is one of the divine abilities on the sky steel. It's the heaven-breaking finger. Many people screamed. They had tried to comprehend the heaven-breaking finger before, but they could not comprehend it completely. They did not expect Yu Qianye to be so talented that he could use the heaven-breaking finger. Even the other 8 geniuses exclaimed, Yu Qianye is really something. If you give him a chance, he might be able to improve again. Oh, a divine ability from the sky steel? But you're not good enough. Lin Xian sneered. He waved his hand and a sword made of the laws appeared. He held the sword and slashed forward. Between heaven and earth, a terrifying sword chi filled the air. Everyone felt their bodies tremble. In the next moment, they saw the sword chi turn into a giant ice bear, roaring at the sky. It could freeze everything with a wave of its hand. What kind of sword technique is this? It's too terrifying. Many people were shocked. Some of the top geniuses were also shocked. There was no such despicable technique on the sky steel. Indeed, they had tried to comprehend the sky steel but did not find such a sword technique. Suddenly, someone screamed. This is not a sword technique from the 12 sky steels, it's a sword technique from the 108 Xian steels. I know, it's called the Sword of 100 Battles. What? A sword technique from the 108 Xian steels. Heavens, isn't that the weakest divine ability? What is Lin Wuti doing? He wants to use a divine ability from the Xian steel to fight against the sky steel's divine ability? Isn't that hitting a stone with an egg? Everyone went crazy. In their knowledge, the sky steel's divine ability was the strongest and the Xian steel's divine ability was the weakest. The only thing that could fight against the sky steel's divine ability was another sky steel's divine ability. But now, Lin Wuti actually used the divine ability from the Xian steel to fight against the divine ability. Ghostly sneered. So, he's an idiot. I wanted to play with him, but now I'm not interested. Di Ling snorted coldly. How can I fight against such a person? What a joke. The first place of the second round will be mine. Yu Qianye laughed loudly. He laughed until tears came out. You're courting death. How dare you fight against me with such a divine ability from the sky steel? His eyes were filled with killing intent. Even if he could not kill Lin Wuti, he had to severely injure him. He wanted to torture Lin Wuti until he wished he was dead. The sky-piercing finger was extremely terrifying. It was as if it could pierce a hole in the sky. It was too easy to kill Lin Wuti. But in the next moment, he was stunned. Not only him, but everyone else was also stunned. The icy cold aura from the ice field giant bear directly sealed the sky-piercing finger. Not only that, the ice field giant bear rushed over with its powerful physique and slammed into Yu Qianye's body. Bang! Yu Qianye was pushed back. With a bang, a huge crack spread. Yu Qianye was also pushed back. He spat out blood and a thick layer of frost appeared on his body. Chapter 3658. What? Yu Qianye was pushed back, and the surrounding people were stunned. How was that possible? The mystical tablet divine ability had fought against the divine tablet divine ability and won. That was unbelievable. Could it be that Lin Wuti had the ability to turn something rotten into something magical? Damn it, what was Yu Qianye doing? Ghostly frowned. Di Ling sneered. Don't worry, that was just the first move. Maybe Yu Qianye was careless, but if he got serious, Yu Qianye would definitely die. Yu Qianye stopped, his face was gloomy, and his handsome face turned sinister. "Damn it, how dare you hurt me? I'll kill you!" Careless, he was indeed careless. He thought that Linwoody's divine ability was weak, but he did not expect Linwoody to have some tricks up his sleeve. "Kid, you're not bad to be able to cultivate the mystical tablet divine ability to such a level. But that's your limit. My divine tablet divine ability is not something you can compare to. I'll definitely kill you with my next move." "Next move? You still want to kill me? What a joke! I can defeat you with my next move. You'll be eliminated and become a nominal disciple." Lin Xian's mouth was filled with disdain. From the beginning, he had never treated Yu Qianye as an opponent. When the others heard that, their scalps went numb. Linwoody defeated Yu Qianye with just one move. Was that not the end of the move? Indeed, it was not over yet. The sword of 100 battles could transform into 15 types of beasts. The move would only end when the beasts disappeared. Someone who had cultivated the same sword technique quickly explained. When the others heard this, they understood that the ice field giant bear was still there. This meant that this move was not over yet. Could it be that Linwoody wanted to defeat one of the 8 great geniuses with just one move? "You still want to defeat me? Dream on!" Yu Qianye was furious. He waved his finger, and it was like a heavenly sword piercing towards Linwoody. The heaven-breaking finger was displayed once again. It was surrounded by terrifying laws and the power of heaven and earth. Shred! 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 Lin Xian waved his sword and roared 3 times. Suddenly, the giant bear in front of him went berserk. Its body doubled in size, and the icy aura on it became even more terrifying. With a wave of the bear's paw, the heavens fell and the earth cracked. Streaks of spatial energy shot out one after another, filling the air. He roared, his eyes completely red as he attacked Yu Qianye. Yu Qianye's heaven-breaking finger directly hit the head of the icefield giant bear, shattering its skull. However, this was not a real demonic beast. Instead, it was formed from a sword chi. Although it had lost its head, it was still capable of attacking. His bare paw slammed onto Yu Qianye's body, causing Yu Qianye to vomit blood. "Damn it, block it for me!" Yu Qianye clenched his teeth and roared. However, in the Copper Sparrow Pavilion, he was unable to use some of his abilities and physique. He could only rely on the heaven-piercing finger to defend himself. However, before he could unleash the 3rd heaven-piercing finger, his body was torn apart. Saintly blood gushed out madly, and he screamed in pain as he flew backwards. "Ah!" Miserable cries rang out, causing everyone's scalp to go numb. Everyone was stunned. Silence reigned between heaven and earth. What did they see? Yu Qianye was defeated. He had really lost. He was defeated by a single sword strike. Linwoody was too strong. A single sword strike, using the Dark Tablet's superpower to defeat the Divine Tablet's superpower. This was simply heaven-defying. At this moment, the 8 Skyprides gasped. Those who were comprehending the Divine Tablet's superpower looked even more dignified. If they were to encounter this sword, would they be able to withstand it? What was going on with Linwoody? Some of the people who were comprehending the sword of 100 battles were horrified. What was going on? How could the sword technique they comprehended be so powerful? One had to know that they could not even unleash 1/10 of the power of the sword of 100 battles. But why was Linwoody able to unleash such a powerful attack? Could it be the difference in talent? Thinking of this, their faces were filled with despair. The 4 martial artists from Wushuang City were equally shocked. Their eyes shone with a strange light. As expected of Linwoody, as expected of the heaven-defying genius who had set the record for the first stage. He was probably the only person who could display the power of the sword of 100 battles to such an extent. Linwoody had won this battle, and Yu Qianye had lost. He had been eliminated and was now an honorary disciple. No! Damn it! I did not lose! I still have the strength to stand. No! You can't do this to me! Yu Qianye screamed like a madman. He was eliminated and was now an honorary disciple. What a joke! He was one of the 8 Sky Prides. He was confident that he would win this round. But now, he had failed. How could he face the others when he left? He wanted to struggle, but the people from Wushuang City waved their sleeves and formed an array to teleport Yuqianya away. Those who had failed were not qualified to be there. Outside the Copper Sparrow Pavilion, Yuqianya's figure appeared. His broken body had healed in an instant. Without the suppression of his cultivation base, he had completely recovered his cultivation base to that of a level 4 sage. With a roar, heaven and earth shook. I can't accept this. He really couldn't accept this. But what could he do? It was not his place to behave atrociously here. If he did not follow the rules, he was afraid that the people from Wushuang City would kill him instantly. Damn it, that kid will definitely be eliminated. Not only did he offend me, but he also offended Di Ling. With Di Ling's methods and thoughts, he would definitely eliminate him. Yuqianya calmed down. He wanted to see that kid be eliminated with his own eyes. Only then could he vent the hatred in his heart. Inside the Copper Sparrow Pavilion, everyone was still in a state of great shock. They did not expect that one of the 8 Sky Prides would be eliminated in such a move. Lin Xian kept his sword of law and relaxed his shoulders. I said that he was not my opponent. I had already spared him twice. But this kid was courting death. You can't blame me. Everyone's mouth twitched. Who would have thought that you were telling the truth? They all thought that you were just pretending. Who would have thought that you were so powerful? For a moment, everyone looked at Lin Xian with strange looks in their eyes. Shi Bufan, Zi Tianqing, and the others' mouths twitched. To be honest, they had also planned to challenge Lin Wudi. But now, it seemed that they should forget about it. If they did not handle it well, they might be eliminated directly. That would be a huge loss of face. Yuqianya was an idiot. He was not strong enough and could not comprehend it, but it did not mean that the Divine Steel's ability was not powerful. At this moment, Di Ling spoke. He had also comprehended the Divine Steel's ability. Naturally, he had to protect the power of the Divine Steel. Yes, that's right. Yuqianya had not comprehended the essence of the Divine Steel's ability. A few people agreed. Oh, so you have comprehended the essence of the Divine Steel's ability? Why don't you fight with me? Let me see how far you have comprehended it. Lin Xian stared at Di Ling. This person had also provoked him time and time again. If there was a chance, he would not mind eliminating him. Chapter 3659. Lin Xian stared at Di Ling, ready to eliminate him. Everyone was excited. They did not expect that Lin Xian and Di Ling would be the first to break out into a conflict. The two of them would fight. If they fought, then one of them would be eliminated. It was unbelievable. Even Wang Xiaofeng and the people from Stillwater Sky City were stunned. To be honest, if there was no special hatred between the 8 geniuses, they would avoid such an elimination round and strive to enter the next round. Then, they would compete for the rankings. But now, Di Ling and Lin Xian were going to fight. I'm not afraid of you. I've wanted to eliminate you for a long time. Di Ling also stood up. He was very unhappy that Lin Xian got first place in the first round. Now Lin Xian dared to provoke him. This made him feel that Lin Xian was dead meat. Kid, you think you can be arrogant in front of me just because you defeated Yuqianya? You're too naive. Yuqianya, that trash, did not understand much of the essence. I'll tell you, I'm the most heaven-defying one. The Divine Steel's superpower that I comprehended is definitely not something you can imagine. Don't be so full of yourself. Otherwise, when you're eliminated later, you'll only be slapped in the face. Lin Xian sneered. The others retreated, leaving only the two of them in the guts. At this moment, more than 10,000 people were completely excited. They were about to witness an earth-shattering battle. What kind of superpower did the two of them comprehend? Did Lin Wudi know how to use such a low-level superpower? No, Lin Wudi, other than the Sword of 100 Battles, also comprehended the Divine Steel's superpower. However, the time he spent on it was very short. It was only slightly more than a month. Moreover, the divine steel's superpower that he comprehended was the same as Di Ling's. Hearing this, everyone was shocked. Everyone was shocked. These two people had actually comprehended the same kind of divine ability. This was too unbelievable. However, the time difference between the two of them was twice as long. Was Lin Xian a match for Di Ling? Buzz! Di Ling stood there. A terrifying aura of heaven and earth appeared from his body. His eyes were like lightning, and the aura of the entire space froze. He formed a seal with his palms, and a law flew out from his fingertips. Then he shouted, "Boom! Boom!" A large crack appeared in the sky, and then an illusory figure walked out of it. It was a headless warrior. He wore tattered armor and held a broken sword in his hand. His aura was unparalleled. Heavens, what is this thing? What kind of divine ability was this? Everyone went crazy. They didn't expect this. This was called the Spirit Summoning Incantation. It could be used to summon powerful heroic spirits from the void of the universe. Di Ling's cold voice was heard. The more profound one's cultivation was, the stronger the summoned spirit would be. "Kid, let's see how you're going to compete with me." After he finished speaking, he shouted angrily. Another figure walked out. This was also a heroic spirit. He held a long saber in his hand, and his aura was unparalleled. The two heroic spirits circled around in the sky, carrying mountains of corpses and seas of blood. These two must have been incredible saints when they were alive. Even if he had been dead for so long, his heroic spirit could still be summoned. "Brat, let's see how you can be compared to me." Di Ling's lips curled into a cold smile. He was very confident in himself. The people from Wushuang City frowned. They had to admit that Di Ling was very powerful. He could summon two heroic spirits in 3 months. How was Lin Wudi going to compete with him? Should he use the same spirit summoning incantation as Di Ling, or the Sword of 100 Battles? Or should he use the Psychic Hand? Could he summon two heroic spirits? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. Interesting. Looks like you're stronger than that trash, Yuqianye. Alright, I'll play with you. As he spoke, Lin Xian's fingers began to form a series of hand seals. In the next moment, his expression became serious. His eyes were like divine swords, rarely looking in all directions. He also knew the spirit summoning incantation. Crack! 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 A large vortex appeared in the sky. Then, an illusory figure appeared. It was a war horse. Everyone was shocked. The first thing to walk out of the vortex was a war horse. It was tall and big, and it was obviously a powerful beast. There was a person sitting on the war horse. It was a knight, a headless knight. He held a long spear in his hand, and his murderous aura was unparalleled. Seeing this, everyone was shocked. After waiting for a long time, they were shocked to find that there was only a headless knight riding a war horse. Other than that, there was no one else. Could it be that Lin Wudi could only summon one? If that was the case, how could Lin Wudi be Di Ling's opponent? Ha! Di Ling laughed arrogantly. You've really disappointed me. I didn't expect you to only summon one. You dare to be arrogant in front of me with your strength? I advise you to kneel down obediently, kowtow, and admit your mistake. Di Ling's eyes were filled with disdain. 2 against 1, there was no way he would lose. Lin Xian shook his head and sighed. You're really arrogant. Do you really think you're going to win? Some things can't be decided by numbers. Is that so? You've only comprehended for 1.5 months. Can you compare with me who has comprehended for 3 months? Today is the day you die. Di Ling sneered. The 2 heroic spirits he summoned quickly charged over. On the other side, the headless knight was riding a war horse. He also charged quickly, the long spear in his hand piercing out. The void kept shattering, and the world kept rumbling. Everyone retreated. At the same time, they widened their eyes, not wanting to miss any details. Boom! 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 The 2 heroic spirits charged out, causing the war horse to neigh non-stop. However, The headless knight's figure was very tall and straight. The long spear in his hand was like lightning. With one strike, the world shattered. Everyone was stunned. They couldn't believe it at all. The 4 warriors from Wushuang City were even more shocked. How was this possible? Their faces were full of shock. Di Ling was even more shocked. Impossible! He screamed. He found that the 2 heroic spirits he summoned were pierced through by the other party's spear and nailed to the void. Boom! The long spear vibrated and directly tore the 2 heroic spirits apart. In the end, the 2 heroic spirits turned into spiritual energy and dissipated in the sky. Are the 2 heroic spirits very powerful? Do you really think that this matter can be won with numbers? I've said it before. You're no match for me. Lin Xian's cold voice sounded. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. Was Lin Wudi already so powerful? He only used 1.5 months to comprehend, and the heroic spirits he summoned were more powerful than Di Ling, who had comprehended in 3 months. It was really too incredible. Di Ling's face was filled with madness. His face was contorted. Impossible! I don't believe it! How can your talent be stronger than mine? He had completely collapsed. What the hell was going on? Chapter 3660. Those were the 2 hero spirits that he had summoned. They were so powerful, but they were destroyed by the other party in one blow. It was unbelievable. Was the other party really more talented than him? 1 hero spirit could defeat 2 on his side. I don't believe it. Die. Di Ling formed a seal again, wanting to summon his hero spirits. At the same time, he quickly charged towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian sneered. With a wave of his hand, the headless horseman waved his spear and slashed at Di Ling. This attack seemed to be able to split everything apart. Di Ling was shocked and quickly retreated. As soon as he left, a spatial crack appeared where he was originally standing. It was a shocking sight. One had to admit that the headless horseman was too powerful. In the Copper Sparrow Pavilion, with his cultivation suppressed, the headless horseman could kill anything in his way. Sure enough, after that, the Imperial Mausoleum was hunted down. He didn't have time to form a seal because the headless horseman was too fast and too powerful. If he delayed for a moment, his body would probably be pierced through. Damn it! Di Ling roared as he ran. He had never been chased by anyone before. The surrounding people were completely stunned. Heavens, was this still Di Ling? Was this still the high and mighty leader of the 8 great prodigies? At this moment, the other party was in an extremely sorry state. He was like a stray dog that had been chased to the point of no return. Buzz! Finally, the headless horseman exploded. The warhorse under his feet roared and turned into a stream of light. The spear in his hand directly enveloped Di Ling. Damn it, block it! Di Ling roared, but the spear still pierced through his body. Drip, drip. Fresh blood flowed down the spear and fell into the void. It was like a sudden clap of thunder that made people's hearts beat wildly. Di Ling was injured. He had been dodging so desperately, but he was still injured. It couldn't be helped. The headless horseman was too powerful. If they were outside, his cultivation wouldn't be suppressed, and he could use his mystique. Di Ling wouldn't be injured. But here, under these rules, Di Ling couldn't resist. He felt his entire body go numb. This spear had made him lose the ability to fight. His eyes were burning as he screamed at the sky. Damn it! Lin Xian walked over and looked down at the other party. What, you're not convinced? We had a fair fight. What are you unhappy about? Indeed, everyone was silent. If Lin Xian had used a saint artifact or some other trump card to win, then they might not have been convinced. But now, this was an absolutely fair environment. If he lost, then he lost. There was no excuse. Go to hell! Di Ling suddenly became furious. He waved his hand and a ray of light flew out. It was a chain of law. However, it was easily dodged by Lin Xian. What? You still want to plot against me? He didn't know what was good for him. With a cold snort, the headless horseman's spear trembled and directly shattered Di Ling's body into pieces. Everyone swallowed their saliva. This was already a serious injury, right? Ah! Di Ling screamed. If it weren't for the fact that I can't kill you, you would have died 1,000 times over by now. How dare you sneak attack me? Lin Xian stepped on Di Ling's head. The headless horseman's warhorse stepped on the dismembered body. Di Ling was so angry that he vomited blood. When had he ever been treated like this? This was humiliation. He was not convinced, but he really couldn't resist now. Damn brat, if we fought outside, you wouldn't be my opponent at all. Put away your pride. You're more than 1,000 years older than me. Of course, you have the advantage outside. Moreover, you can borrow other powers. For example, the mysterious coffin in your body that doesn't belong to you. These don't represent your own power. Do you understand? Also, do you really think that you can beat me outside? You have a trump card, do you think I don't? So, don't be arrogant outside. Otherwise, you'll end up in a miserable state. As Lin Xian spoke, he stomped down hard on Di Ling's head, causing it to creak. Di Ling was so angry that he couldn't speak. He could only vomit blood to express his anger. The people from Wushuang City walked out and said loudly, Lin Wudi won this battle. Di Ling lost and was eliminated. He was now a registered disciple. With a wave of his hand, the array teleported Di Ling's body out. Looking at the blood on the ground, everyone's scalp went numb. The mausoleum was defeated and eliminated. This was earth-shattering news. Because they never thought that Di Ling would be defeated. One had to know that Di Ling was the favorite to win the championship. But now, this favorite to win the championship was eliminated in the second round. Outside the Copper Sparrow Terrace, Yu Qianye was alone there, waiting anxiously. He guessed that Di Ling would make a move at this time. Di Ling couldn't tolerate such a powerful person. Indeed, he felt a fluctuation in the void. Someone was being teleported out. It seemed that someone was eliminated again. It must be that brat. Yu Qianye revealed a sinister smile. He secretly used his power, preparing to show his strength to his opponent. It would be best if he could injure him. In the next moment, a light flashed. His raised hand froze in midair. The sinister smile on his face also froze. It was Di Ling. How could it be? His heart was about to explode. Damn it, Di Ling was out. Was he eliminated like him? At this moment, Yu Qianye's mind went blank. In his opinion, Di Ling was the strongest. No one could beat him. But now, Di Ling was eliminated by someone else. Who was it? Could it be that brat who did it? He couldn't believe it. As soon as Di Ling came out, he roared at the sky. The late-stage level 4 energy in his body instantly exploded. With a loud bang, Yu Qianye was directly sent flying, vomiting blood. Ah! Damn Lin Wudi! I will tear you to pieces. I won't rest until you die. Di Ling screamed crazily. The 9 heavens were cracking and the earth was trembling. At this moment, he was really angry. He couldn't wait to go back to the Copper Sparrow Terrace and tear his opponent to pieces. Yu Qianye stood up from afar, wiping the blood from the corner of his mouth. His face was full of horror. Lin Wudi, it was really Lin Wudi who did it. Damn it, what trick did this guy use to eliminate Di Ling as well? How did you lose? He leaned forward and asked. Di Ling turned his head, his eyes emitting a cold light, almost sending Yu Qianye flying again. I didn't lose. It was that brat who was despicable. If we were outside, I could kill him with one hand. Di Ling's murderous aura was too cold. What bullshit fair fight? His strength was his strength. Where did the suppression of the laws come from? At this moment, he was extremely dissatisfied with Peerless City. In the Copper Sparrow Terrace, the people were still in a state of shock. Lin Xian had eliminated 2 of the 8 great prodigies in a row. This scene sent chills down everyone's spines. One could imagine what kind of storm it would cause if this news spread out. Chapter 3661. Di Ling was finally eliminated. Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile. Who would be next? He looked around, and the people around him trembled in fear. Suddenly, Lin Xian's gaze stopped and stared at Ghostly. His lips curled up again. Ghostly took 2 steps back and laughed dryly. Lin Gongzi had fought twice. He must be tired, right? Why not take a break and let the others fight? Is that so? I'm not tired. The first time, I killed a piece of trash with 1 move. The second time, I let the spirit kill 0. I haven't even fought yet. Why don't you fight with me again? Ghostly was about to cry when he heard that. The others also gasped. Damn, he wants to fight again. Does he want to fight all 5 rounds? If that's the case, a few more Sky Prides would be eliminated. Gui Li's expression became extremely ugly. His face was originally extremely pale. At this moment, he was about to cry. He looked like a clown from hell. I don't think I've offended Lin Gongzi, Ghostly said with difficulty. Lin Xian smiled. You haven't offended me? Who was the one who cooperated with Di Ling and mocked me? Do you think I'm stupid? I'll give you a chance. Hurry up and fight. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude. Damn it, this guy. Ghostly cursed in his heart. He didn't expect that Lin Xian would really fight him. Does he want to offend the 8 Sky Prides? However, he also realized that he didn't threaten him anymore. Those who threatened Lin Xian, such as Di Ling and Yu Qianye, had a miserable ending. If he continued to threaten him, he would probably fight to the death in the future. Therefore, he could only admit defeat and stand up. All right, then I'll ask Lin Gongzi to teach me a lesson. Ghostly stood up. His eyes were shining with a black light, and his body was filled with ghostly qi. He seemed to have turned into a ghost from hell. Buzz! He instantly appeared in front of Lin Xian. A pitch-black sword appeared in his hand, and he stabbed it towards Lin Xian's heart. What a fast speed! The surrounding people exclaimed. They didn't expect Ghostly to have such a movement technique even when his cultivation was suppressed. Lin Xian was also surprised. It seemed that this Ghostly was really going all out from the start. His figure flickered, turning into a phantom as he dodged quickly. He dodged the sword, but the pitch-black sword was extremely terrifying. Beams of sword light enveloped him. This was the 9 Nether Sword Art, a sword art of the Heavenly Monument. Someone screamed. It was the Divine Steel's divine ability again. How was Lin Xian going to block it? Ghost Li's speed was extremely fast, and so was the 9 Serenity's sword technique. He didn't give Lin Xian any chance at all. The others could also see that if Lin Xian didn't have a chance to summon his heroic spirit, it would be very dangerous. This was because it was very difficult for other divine abilities to fight against Ghostly. Just when everyone thought that Lin Xian was about to be suppressed, Lin Xian let out a long roar. Instead of retreating, he charged forward. His hands split open the sky and collided with the 9 Serenity's sword art. What? Was he crazy? Did that kid want to die? He actually wanted to use his physique to fight against the 9 Serenity's sword art. Damn it, did he think that he was outside? If he was outside and his divine ability wasn't suppressed, then it might be possible to fight against the 9 Serenity's sword art. But now, all of his divine abilities couldn't be used. Even his cultivation was suppressed to the first heaven. Would a first heaven sage dare to fight against such a sword art? They definitely wouldn't. But Lin Xian was different. So what if he was suppressed to the first heaven? His divine body of the first heaven wasn't something that these people could imagine. So with a long roar, he directly faced it head-on. With a boom, his fist and the 9 Serenity's sword collided, making a clanging sound. The 9 Serenity's sword art trembled from the impact, and Lin Xian kept retreating. What a terrifying sword art! He was shocked. However, he smiled. Because his qi and blood were tumbling, but he wasn't injured. What? How was that possible? Everyone who saw this scene went crazy. In their opinion, Lin Xian would definitely be cut in half by the sword. But Lin Xian was actually unharmed. What kind of physique was that? Was that the physique of a first heaven sage? They wouldn't believe it even if they were beaten to death. Ghostly's face also became ugly again. Previously, when he saw the other party's reckless attack, he thought that the other party was an idiot. Who would have thought that the other party's physique was far beyond his imagination? So, after this attack, his arm was numb. Now, he hadn't recovered yet. On the other side, Lin Xian used the illusory spirit spell, and the headless warrior was once again summoned by him. Ghostly's soul scattered. He didn't dare to fight against this knight, and could only look for an opportunity to attack Lin Xian. After dozens of moves, he was still swept in the back by the headless knight's spear. His whole body was directly blasted out, and he vomited large mouthfuls of blood. I admit defeat. Ghostly directly admitted defeat because he knew that if they continued to fight, it would be difficult for him to win. Perhaps, his outcome would be the same as Di Ling, being beaten to pieces. If not for Di Ling's battle, he might have fought with his life on the line. But when he saw that even Di Ling wasn't the other party's match, he completely gave up. This person was too monstrous. Ghostly admitted defeat, and was directly eliminated, and became an unnamed disciple. The array flickered, and he was also teleported out. The surrounding people were completely stunned. Ghostly was in existence second only to Di Ling, and now Yi Luo was defeated. This Lin Wudy was really too strong. There was no good ending at all for opposing the other party. Lin Xian attacked 3 times in a row, knocking 3 out of the 8 geniuses out of the way. The other party still had 2 chances. Would the other party still attack? The other few of the 8 great prodigies were also facing a great enemy. They had no chance of winning at all against Lin Xian. However, Lin Xian had no intention of attacking again. He attacked 3 times because these 3 people provoked him one after another. Especially Yu Qianye and Di Ling, they both had killing intent towards him. He naturally wanted to eliminate such people. As for the others, he wasn't interested. In other words, these people were no longer a threat to him. Seeing that Lin Xian didn't attack those experts, such as Stillwater Sky City Shirbufan, and the others, breathed a sigh of relief. It was too terrifying. If the other party attacked, they would be in danger. Next, it was the others' turn. A few of the 8 great prodigies came over and discussed with Shinjingqiu. They wouldn't fight each other, and they would enter the next round together. Shinjingqiu had no enmity with these people, so she naturally agreed. Next, it was the battle between the others. Among them, Shinjingqiu attacked. She faced an expert who was very powerful. He wasn't one of the 8 great prodigies, but he had also comprehended the divine steel's divine ability. Shinjingqiu fought with him, and the crowd was also incomparably shocked. In the end, Shinjingqiu defeated her opponent, and it shocked Stillwater Sky City, Wang Xiaofeng, and the others. When did Shinjingqiu become so powerful? Her divine steel's divine ability was also so powerful. Chapter 3662. It should be because of Lin Wudy. Don't forget, Lin Wudy and Shinjingqiu both started from the Xian steel. There must be something mysterious about it. Indeed, they spent 3 months to comprehend the divine steel, but it was not as fast as Lin Woody's 1 month. There must be something wrong. However, they could not care less about it. It was too late to think about it now. At this moment, the battles continued. Outside, people were constantly being teleported out. Those who came out were all defeated. Actually, when Ghostly was teleported out, Yu Qianye was shocked again. Di Ling's face was also filled with shock. One of his archenemies had also been teleported out. Who was the one who kicked you out? Ghostly snorted. It was Lin Wudy. What? It was him again. Di Ling's eyelids twitched. Yu Qianye's face was also pale, but then he revealed a sinister look. 3 of the 8 geniuses were sent out, including the first and second place Di Ling and Ghostly. That kid was definitely unlucky. With Di Ling and Ghostly's methods in their background, how could they let each other off so easily? One must know that Ghostly was from the Fiend planet, and Di Ling was from the Spirit Sealing planet. These two worlds were extremely famous and terrifying worlds in the second astral boundary. If the people from these two worlds knew that Lin Xian had eliminated Di Ling and Ghostly, what would they do? They would definitely go crazy and assassinate Lin Xian. Thinking of this, Yu Qianye revealed a sinister look. But soon he frowned because he realized that Ghostly did not have much killing intent. One must know that when he and Di Ling were teleported out, they roared at the sky, their killing intent shocking the 9 heavens and 10 earths. When Ghostly came out, other than his expression being a little ugly, he did not do anything else. What was going on? Even Di Ling realized that something was wrong. He said, "Are you willing to accept this? So what if you are not willing? Who told me to provoke the other party?" Ghostly sneered. Could it be that the two of you still want to continue fighting with the other party? Of course. Who does he think he is to eliminate me? When I come out, I will definitely teach him a lesson. Di Ling's eyes exploded with extremely cold killing intent. After coming out, there was no cultivation suppression. His cultivation was almost 2 heavenly layers higher than the other party. Wouldn't it be easy for him to kill the other party? Yu Qianye also sneered. His cultivation was 1 level higher than his opponent's, so in the real world, he could also kill his opponent. Looking at their expressions, Ghostly shook his head. That's your business, it has nothing to do with me. I won't do anything to him. At least, I won't assassinate him unless there's a special competition. Are you admitting defeat? Di Ling sneered. I didn't expect you to be so cowardly. Yu Qianye's eyes were also filled with unwillingness. Ghostly said coldly. You can think whatever you want. Both of you are young masters of your families. I am different. I climbed up bit by bit from the Malevolence planet. On the Fiend planet, there were schemes and assassinations every day. Sometimes, you wouldn't even know how you died. That's why my intuition told me that Lin Wuti was terrifying and that I shouldn't make an enemy out of him. For the sake of my future path, I will no longer be his enemy. After saying that, Ghostly ignored the two of them and stood there alone with a cold expression. Although he was eliminated the first time, he still had a chance. At most, he would wait for half a year and participate again. At that time, with his strength, it wouldn't be a problem for him to succeed. But this Lin Wuti, he couldn't afford to provoke him in the future. Di Ling didn't think so. He was different from Ghostly. He had always been a genius. Moreover, he was a genius from the first astral world. He had always been radiant. So, anyone who went against him would be trampled under his feet. Yu Qianye was even more so. He was the young master of the Yu clan. Since he was young, he had always been the center of attention. Someone dared to provoke him. He would use everything, even the power of his family, to destroy the other party. Seeing more and more people being eliminated, Yu Qianye's eyes flashed. He came to the side and said, Brother Di Ling, don't you think this is too unusual? There are too many geniuses being eliminated. It's unfair to Wushuang City. Wushuang City will lose a lot of geniuses for nothing. Why don't we work together and talk to the elders of Wushuang City? With our status, we can work together with these geniuses and pressure them. Maybe. Before Yu Qianye could finish his words, Di Ling's eyes shone with cold light. He nodded slightly and turned his head. Are you willing to accept this? Those people naturally weren't willing to accept this. He said, All right, follow me. We'll go and find the elders of Wushuang City. Di Ling led the group and quickly walked towards the distance. A roar sounded. I, Di Ling, bring all the geniuses to seek an audience with the elders. His voice was like thunder, spreading in all directions. Soon, 5 pairs of people rushed over. The leading elder came. What's going on? What's going on? This is Wushuang City, you can't be so presumptuous. We don't want to be presumptuous, but some people are too despicable. They eliminated several geniuses from the 8 great geniuses. I think this is also a loss for Wushuang City. The elders who had arrived were also stunned. Di Ling, Guili, and Yu Qianye were indeed 3 of the 8 great geniuses. How could they be eliminated? There were also some other geniuses who were very eye-catching in the first round, but they were all eliminated. That was too unbelievable. For a moment they frowned. To be honest, they didn't expect this to happen because in their opinion, Di Ling was definitely the favorite to win the championship. Even if he couldn't become the chief disciple in the end, he would definitely be in the top 3. Gui Li was also very powerful. Yu Qianye was also extraordinary. But now, those geniuses were eliminated. Why don't we discuss this? Someone suggested. However, the elder who participated in the first round shook his head. No, the rules were the rules, and they couldn't be changed. In an instant, the crowd began to discuss spiritedly. Those people that had been eliminated were also begging for another chance. Just as both sides were about to give up, a decree descended from the 9 heavens. Seeing that, the elders immediately became respectful. The others didn't dare to say anything because the aura from the decree was too terrifying. At first glance, it was obvious that it was from an extremely terrifying sage. The elders took it respectfully and took a look. Then they gasped. All right, stop fooling around. Because of the special situation this time, I'll give you a chance. If you fail, you can only take the test half a year later. But this time, it can be brought forward. 3 days later, you can take the test again. If you fail, you will be eliminated immediately and leave Wushuang City. If you don't want to, you can take the test half a year later. You can decide for yourselves. Chapter 3663. The elders gave 2 options. Everyone's eyes flickered when they heard that. Those who felt that they weren't too confident all chose to wait half a year before taking the test according to the usual rules. However, people like Di Ling and Yu Qianye decided to wait for the test 3 days later. Fail here? Impossible! They didn't believe that they had to pass the test and participate in the 3rd round. Then, they would kill Lin Wuti with their own strength. Ghostly had no choice. He decided to wait for half a year to avoid Lin Xian. At the same time, there were some geniuses who thought they were strong enough to wait for the test 3 days later. These people were brought to an independent palace and began to recover. They waited for the test 3 days later. As for the others, they became unnamed disciples and went to another area. After the examinees left, the elders frowned. Why would the higher-ups issue such an order? They were also greatly surprised. Who knew? Some shook their heads. Maybe it was because too many geniuses were eliminated this time, or maybe it was because of other reasons. Anyway, no one could guess what the higher-ups meant. The elders nodded. However, if Di Ling and the others were allowed to enter the 3rd round, the storm would be huge. There were no restrictions in the 3rd round. Maybe that was what the higher-ups meant. Lin Wuti was too dazzling in the first 2 rounds. However, there were specific restrictions in the first 2 rounds. Maybe the higher-ups wanted to refine him. Weren't they afraid of going overboard? Would he die? Some elders frowned. One had to know that Di Ling, Yu Qianye, and the others were very strong. If they joined forces in the 3rd round, Lin Wuti might be killed. If he died, so be it. There were countless geniuses in the world, but how many of them could walk out in the end? Lin Wuti was like that. Di Ling and Yu Qianye were the same. An elder's expression was cold. If we show mercy now, they will be killed by stronger geniuses in the future. The ancient Star Road was a road of no return. One must be prepared to die. This was a road that could only be walked by stepping on the corpses and blood of countless geniuses. In the Copper Sparrow Pavilion, the battle had ended. There were more than 10,000 geniuses left. Only 3,000 remained. The rest were all eliminated. The remaining people were filled with excitement. This was great. They could finally enter the next stage. What's the next round? Someone asked. Xin Jingqiu, Lin Xian, and the others also turned their heads to look. They were also very curious about the final stage. Was this the final stage? It was a real battle. A warrior from Peerless City walked out. For the final stage, we will send you to the East Spirit World. You will go there and carry out a mission. If you return successfully, you will pass the third test and become an official disciple of Peerless City. However, what I want to tell you is that the East Spirit World is a very special place. Not only will the people from Wushuang City be there for the assessment, the people from the other sacred cities will also be there. Furthermore, there would be some powerful demonic beasts that would appear as well. It could be said that it was a world that specialized in training. It was very dangerous inside. If they were unlucky, they might even die inside. Hearing this, everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. This time, there were no restrictions. However, although there were no restrictions, there was still danger to his life. This was definitely not good news for them. No one wanted to be killed. Some people hesitated, and some people asked, "What kind of mission? Was it very dangerous?" The mission is for each of you to retrieve 10 pieces of East Spirit Stones. East Spirit Stones are unique to the East Spirit World, but they are not common. You will need to look for them carefully. Of course, you can also exchange, rob, or assassinate others. In short, you can do whatever you want. As long as you can successfully obtain 10 pieces and return alive, you will pass. Obtaining 10 pieces of East Spirit Stones by hook or by crook? Hearing this, everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. It was so dangerous. It was much more dangerous than they had imagined. However, they also knew that this should be a path that they had to pass. After all, if they were afraid of death, they should not cultivate. To be able to reach this step, which one of them did not go through hundreds of battles and climb up from countless corpses? Therefore, although everyone was hesitant, no one backed down. According to the time you return, the ranking of the third stage will be determined. The ranking of the 3 stages added together will be your final ranking. At this point, everyone took a deep breath. The first place of the second stage would definitely be Lin Wudi again. Because no one could surpass him. He was the person who eliminated Di Ling and Ghostly. If no one backs out, then rest for a day and adjust your body. I will send you to the East Spirit World. Everyone nodded and began to rest. The martial artists of Peerless City formed seals with their palms, and immediately, everyone was enveloped. In the next moment, those people exclaimed. They felt a huge and powerful life force enter their bodies. This was Peerless City helping them recover. Great! Their faces were filled with excitement as they absorbed with all their might. Under such circumstances, these people recovered in about half a day. For the next half a day, these people closed their eyes and rested. They maintained their peak condition throughout. A day later, these people stood up. The martial artists of Peerless City led them out of the Copper Sparrow Terrace. After walking out, an elder came over and said a few words. The martial artists of Peerless City were stunned. What happened? Lin Xian, Xin Jingqiu, and the others were also puzzled. A martial artist of Peerless City turned his head and said. He had just received news that those who were eliminated previously would have an extra chance. In 3 days, they would participate in the assessment. Those who succeed will also enter the third stage and compete with you. You must be mentally prepared. What? There was such a thing. Many people's faces changed. Then, Di Ling, Gui Li, and the others would be back. Thinking of this, their scalps went numb. Among them, Shi Bufan, Shi Sui Tianqing, and the others looked at Lin Xian with a trace of sympathy in their eyes. Xin Jingqiu also frowned. Brother Lin, you must be careful. I'm afraid those guys will take revenge on you. Don't worry. Lin Xian did not care too much. Firstly, it seemed that the East Spirit World was a huge world. It would not be easy to meet them. Furthermore, the other party would arrive 3 days later. The situation in the Eastern Spirit World was extremely dangerous. Whether these people could survive or not was another matter. Even if he really met them, would he be afraid of them? Things were getting more and more interesting. He hoped to meet them inside. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a sharp light. At that time, he would let them know that even if they were outside, he could still trample them under his feet with his true strength. Alright, I'm just informing you about this. You should think about how to get the 10 pieces of East Spirit Stone and come back alive. The martial artists of Peerless City led the 3,000 people on the road again. Chapter 3664. Finally, they came to a huge square. On the square, there was a flashing array that looked ancient and complicated. Everyone boarded the array, and the martial artists of Peerless City activated the array. The array flashed and teleported everyone away. Looking at the departing figures, the eyes of the martial artists and elders of Peerless City flickered. One of them sighed, wondering how many of them would be able to return alive. Buzz, buzz, buzz. When the power of the array disappeared, Lin Xian opened his eyes. In the next moment, he roared, and the 9-yang divine body shone brightly to defend himself. At the same time, he looked around. Where's Qiu'er? He realized that Xinjingqiu was gone. Not only Xinjingqiu and Shi Bufan, but the people of Stillwater Sky City were all gone. It seemed that this was not only a spatial teleportation array, but also a random teleportation array that teleported them to various places in this world. It seemed that he could only find Qiu'er while searching for the East Spirit Stone. Thinking of this, his body swayed and he wanted to leave. However, at that moment he stopped. In fact, his expression became incomparably serious. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Above his head, a strong wind blew, and a dark cloud appeared. Taking a closer look, it was not a dark cloud, but a pair of wings. It was a demonic beast, and its wings covered the sky. The aura on it was too terrifying. Everywhere it passed, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. Damn, this was the East Spirit World. Lin Xian's eyes widened. F***ck, this is a powerful demonic beast saint. Not only him, but the others also saw it. After being teleported to the East Spirit World, they were ready to search for the East Spirit Stone. But as soon as they moved, they saw one terrifying scene after another. For example, a divine ape that could kick 2 mountains away with a little force. A demonic wolf that could make the stars fall from the sky with a roar. There was also a giant python that could swallow half the sky with its mouth open. This scene stunned all of the sages who were taking the test. Damn it, what kind of place had they come to? These people were really terrified. Let's hurry up and find the 10 East Spirit Stones and go back. Those who were scattered around the world began to move. When they left those powerful demonic beasts, they heaved a sigh of relief. That's great. A cold light burst out from one of their eyes. He soared into the sky, wanting to leave this place. But at this time, an emerald-green poisonous snake suddenly appeared on the tree and coiled around his neck. It bit him. Immediately, his body turned black and he fell to the ground, twitching non-stop. This poison was extremely terrifying. Even if this person was a third heaven saint, he could not withstand it. In the end, he could only escape with his soul, screaming, as he fled. This was not the only case. At least 5 or 6 people were attacked in an instant. It couldn't be helped. These people still didn't know enough about this place. It was obvious that they had been careless. Xian also frowned. This was indeed a terrifying place. He activated his heavenly secret divine eyes and looked around before leaving quickly. However, at this moment, the ground beneath his feet also cracked open, and a claw swiped towards his leg. He wanted to crush his leg. Lin Xian laughed coldly. He had long since noticed that something was amiss. Now that the enemy was attacking, he stamped his foot. Boom! The earth trembled as the claw was shattered into pieces. There was a roar from the ground, and a huge creature rushed out. It was a rat. Of course, it was not an ordinary rat. It was a beast saint. The purple fur all over its body shone brightly. Strands of laws surrounded it, and the shattered claw quickly healed. In its emerald green eyes, there was a terrifying murderous intent. With a roar, it rushed over. Obviously, it wanted to tear the human who injured it to pieces. Get lost! Lin Xian roared and kicked out like a coiling dragon. Boom! When they collided, an earth-shattering sound was heard, followed by a scream. Then, the huge purple rat was sent flying. Its bones were shattered, and many cracks appeared on its body. Its eyes were filled with fear. Damn it, what was wrong with this human? Why was his physique so strong? One had to know that it was not an ordinary rat. It was a mutated species of earth demon rat. Its cultivation had reached the third heaven. It was a third heaven beast saint. In its opinion, killing a human of the same level was a piece of cake. But now, it realized that it could not do so. The other party's physique was too strong. Run, beast saints were not idiots. They had great wisdom and were not inferior to humans at all. Their physiques were stronger than humans. At this moment, after it knew that it was no match for Lin Xian, it immediately burrowed into the ground, wanting to escape. You want to leave? Can you leave? Lin Xian sneered. With a stomp of his foot, a huge crack spread forward. The entire ground was trampled into a canyon by him. The earth demon rat underground was also shaken out. It burrowed deeper into the ground desperately. You still don't want to come out, right? In that case, don't blame me. Lin Xian sneered, took out the Great Destruction Spear, and stabbed it into the ground. The Great Destruction Spear was a sacred artifact. It grew infinitely and pierced through the ground. In the next moment, a miserable cry came from the depths of the ground. Lin Xian waved the Great Destruction Spear with force. The ground cracked open, and the Great Destruction Spear was retrieved from the ground. There was a purple phantom on the spear. It was the Earth Demon Rat. At this moment, it was pierced by the Great Destruction Spear, and its face was filled with fear. Don't kill me, I beg you, spare my life. This huge beast spoke in human language, its face filled with fear. To be honest, it was cursing in its heart. Damn it, it had kicked an iron plate. It originally thought that this was a hothead, a new prey. Who knew that the other party was so strong? Lin Xian sneered. Don't kill you? Sure, it depends on whether you have value or not. Yes, I do. The Earth Demon Rat hurriedly nodded. Sir, you should be a trial taker who just entered the East Spirit World. I'm quite familiar with the terrain here. I can be your guide. Hearing this, Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. He had just come here and was indeed unfamiliar with the place. If there was a beast saint who could lead the way for him, it would be much more convenient. But why should I believe you? If I let you go, what if you run away or fight back? Otherwise, I'll plant a restriction in your body. What? Plant a restriction? Wouldn't that be at the mercy of others? The Earth Demon Rat was 100% unwilling. It said, With my little strength, what tricks can I play in front of you? Lin Xian sneered. Don't give me that. You demons are born cunning. I'll give you two choices now. First, I'll plant a restriction in you to make you listen to me during this period. Second, I'll kill you now and then collect your soul. You choose. I choose the first. The Earth Demon Rat did not want to die. It could only helplessly. Lin Xian smiled. Don't worry, your choice is correct. I won't control you for too long. I'm only in this East Spirit World for trial. After I'm done with the trial, I'll let you go. Chapter 3665. Okay, I hope you keep your word. The Earth Demon Rat had no choice but to accept this condition. Lin Xian planted a restriction in the other party's mind. As long as the other party dared to betray him, he could immediately kill the other party. Then, he withdrew the Spear of Great Destruction. The other party quickly recovered and said at the same time, What do you want to ask? Ask away. Lin Xian said. Do you know the East Spirit Stone? Where can I get it? East Spirit Stone? The Earth Demon Rat was stunned, and then the corner of its mouth twitched. It seemed that, young master, you are the disciple of the Holy City's assessment. Oh, do you know? Lin Xian nodded. He knew that many Holy Cities' assessment required the East Spirit Stone. However, there weren't many of these things, and they weren't easy to obtain. Cut the crap. Where is it? Tell me, lead the way, and tell me about the situation here. Okay, the Earth Demon Rat had no choice. Its life was in the other party's hands and it couldn't resist. he said. Let's talk as we walk. As it spoke, its body began to shrink. In the end, it became only the size of a fist. It was very cute. It jumped onto Lin Xian's shoulder and said, "Fly east." Lin Xian's figure flashed, and he flew at a low altitude. At this time, Little White also flew out. He came to Lin Xian's other shoulder, looked at the earth demon rat, and said, "Oh, I've taken in another underling." Lin Xian smiled and rubbed Little White's head. The earth demon rat was unhappy. "Underling? Underling my ass! Damn monkey!" It let out a roar, and a terrifying demon saint aura surged out. It was a third heaven demon. Could it not scare a little monkey to death? However, Little White only dug its ears. "Yeah, so noisy." Then, its furry little claws slapped over and slapped the earth demon rat's head. The earth fiend demonic rat fell dizzy, and its entire body fainted. A few seconds later, it came back to its senses. The next moment, it looked at Little White with a face full of fear. F***ck, what an evil monkey. At the same time, it was shocked. Wow, even a monkey was so difficult to deal with. This person was too strange. It was better not to provoke them. He chuckled. "Brother Monkey, I'm your new little brother. What kind of spirit fruit do you want to eat? Tell me and I'll bring you to find it later." Earth fiend demonic rat appeared to be fawning on the surface, but it was extremely depressed in its heart. It was a third firmament demon sage, an overlord of an area. But at this moment, he was reduced to being a lackey. "Yeah, I want to eat angel fruit, Kirin fruit." Little White listed out the names of many fruits. After the earth fiend demonic rat heard this, the corner of its mouth twitched, and it almost vomited blood. How was this a spirit fruit? This was simply a divine elixir. How could there be one here? He could only play dumb and stop responding. Instead, he began to guide Lin Xian. Lin Xian's figure flickered as he quickly flew forward. Suddenly, a huge hand reached out from the mountains and slapped towards him. The heavens collapsed and the earth cracked. The mountains shattered and the earth split open. This palm was truly incomparably terrifying. Lin Xian was directly hit. Earth fiend demonic rat was so scared that it peed its pants. It thought that it was definitely going to die, but it didn't expect Lin Xian to release countless sword chi and block the attack. Although it was sent flying, it didn't suffer too much injury. Buzz! Lin Xian soared into the sky and came to the void. He looked into the distance and frowned. Damn it, someone was sneaking an attack on him. No, to be precise, it wasn't a human, but a beast that was sneaking an attack on him. "What is this?" Lin Xian asked. Earth fiend demonic rat took a look and its scalp went numb. "It's a lightning beast. Let's take a detour." "Why, is it very powerful?" Lin Xian asked. "Of course, it's very powerful. Moreover, it's not a native beast of the East Spirit world. It's from outside." "What does that mean?" Lin Xian was even more surprised. The earth fiend demonic rat said, "Didn't I tell you that Sister Dongling is a training ground? Apart from your holy city, the other holy cities, as well as the major powers and clans, will also send disciples and experts here. This lightning beast came in from outside for the trial. They should be from the Demon City." "Demon City?" Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. "In that case, it should also be a sacred city." Earth fiend demonic rat nodded. "That's right, it's indeed a sacred city, and it's a sacred city of the demon clan. There's no one inside, only demons and other 10,000 ancient races. They were very powerful and brutal. In the East Spirit world, they even specialized in hunting humans. This lightning beast is not only from the Lightning Clan, but also from the Demon City. Therefore, we can't provoke it. Let's take a detour. Is it from the Demon City? Interesting." Lin Xian smiled. "What's there to be afraid of? You and Xiaobai watch from the side. I'll go and meet him." Lin Xian was too excited. To be honest, the previous two trials were indeed novel to him, but the battles were not satisfying. Especially in the second round, people like Di Ling, Ghostly, and the others were no longer his opponents. He needed to find a new opponent, but he didn't expect to meet people from other sacred cities as soon as he entered. How could he not be excited? Only by constantly fighting could he break through his limits again and again. Therefore, Lin Xian's target was this lightning beast. The lightning beast also walked out of the mountain range, surrounded by lightning. Especially its eyes, which were even more terrifying and carried a terrifying aura. Wherever its gaze passed, the void would constantly shatter. "Human ant, come here and die." His voice was filled with endless majesty. "Come here, but you're the one who's going to die." Lin Xian's right hand swept out. It was as if a part of the world was surrounded by the 5 elemental laws. He directly slapped over. Before his palm landed, the mountain range in front of him kept shattering. It couldn't withstand this force at all. Courting death. The lightning beast was furious. The other party dared to attack him. He was courting death. He opened his mouth and spat out a bolt of lightning. This was a lightning technique. It flickered with unparalleled light, like a heavenly sword that could destroy everything in the world. In his opinion, an early-stage third heaven sage would definitely not be able to withstand his attack. Boom! The 5 elemental palm collided with the other party's lightning. A thunder sound was heard, and the entire forest area was completely destroyed. Countless demonic beasts fled. They knew that there were 2 behemoths in the middle of a battle. After the first attack, Lin Xian continued to attack. His palms continued to slam out, each of them like a 5 elemental mountain, pressing down on the lightning beast. The lightning beast was completely enraged. Damn it, how could it be? How could the other party's physique be so strong? Roar! He roared. He didn't believe it at all and charged over. As a monster, his physique was much stronger than a human's. He didn't believe that an early-stage third heaven sage could compete with him. One had to know that he was at the mid-stage third heaven sage. He was one small realm higher than the other party. Such a small realm was enough for him to easily kill the other party. The 2 of them engaged in close combat. When the Earth Fiend demonic rat saw this scene, his scalp went numb. Damn it, come back quickly and attack from afar. Use your supernatural powers to attack him. He realized that Lin Xian also wanted to engage in close combat. He was really too stupid. Wasn't this like an egg hitting a rock? Chapter 3666. Little White, who was at the side, waved its furry little paws. "Yeah, it's safe." As it spoke, it took out a spiritual fruit and began to eat it. Its big black eyes blinked as it looked ahead, as if it was watching a good show. This monkey was too heartless. Its master was about to die. The earth demon demonic rat's eyes flickered. It was ready to escape. It was no match for this lightning beast, so when the person in front of it died, it immediately fled. Even its 2 claws had already begun to quietly dig into the ground. However, at this moment, the sound of bones breaking came from the front, as well as an earth-shattering roar. The sky in all directions kept shattering. The earth demon demonic rat raised its head and looked into the distance. Then, its eyes almost fell out. He saw that the lightning beast's enormous body was actually sent flying backwards, smashing countless mountains into pieces. Not only that, blue blood flowed out from the other party's body. It was injured. The lightning beast was actually injured. God, this human youth was too terrifying, wasn't he? It was stunned. At the same time, the lightning beast was also stunned. Its heart was filled with infinite fear and anger. It was actually injured by a human. It was too unbelievable. More importantly, this human's cultivation was lower than his. With a roar, it used its bloodline talent. The speed of the lightning clan was extremely fast. In an instant it disappeared. When it reappeared, it was behind Lin Xian. It was like teleportation. Go to hell! His 2 palms turned into 2 heavenly blades and slashed down mercilessly. This attack should have killed the other party, right? Puff! The void shattered and turned into chaos. However, the lightning beast's heart suddenly stopped. It missed. That's right, it felt that this attack had slashed into the void and did not hit the other party at all. Damn it, where was the other party? It looked ahead in disbelief. Disappeared, the other party disappeared. Was the other party's speed so fast? It was even faster than its bloodline talent. This was impossible. She was from the Lightning Clan, a lightning-type demonic saint. In addition to her bloodline talent, who could surpass her speed among the same level? Not to mention a third heaven saint, even a fourth heaven saint might not be as fast as her. Are you looking for me? At this moment, a cold voice came from behind. What? Had the other party already arrived behind him? When had he arrived? Why didn't he notice it at all? Thinking of this, he broke out in a cold sweat. His opponent's speed had already surpassed his? How was this possible? He turned his head and saw a fist coming at him. It was a golden fist that was shining with multicolored light. Not good. He wanted to dodge, but it was too late. This punch landed directly on his face, causing his head to explode in an instant. His entire body fell to the ground. Next, he felt more than 1,000,000 attacks. He was torn into pieces and turned into a bloody mist. The ground fiend demonic rat opened its eyes wide. It could not believe that the lightning beast was actually being beaten up by the other party. This was too inconceivable. The lightning beast was so scared that it peed its pants. This human before it was definitely one of the top geniuses out there. To think that it could not beat him. Run quickly. The blood turned into streams of light and fled into the distance. However, how could Lin Xian let him escape? The sword chi of the dragon traversing sword flew out and formed a sword field. It shrouded the area in front of him and completely enveloped the blood of the other party. Next, tens of thousands of sword chi erupted together. The blood kept being obliterated. A miserable and terrified voice sounded. No! You can't do it! I'm from the Demon City! He let out a crazy roar. The exam was useless. No matter what demon city you were from, as long as you dared to make a move, Lin Xian would not let you go. In the end, a soul fled in panic and was shattered into pieces by Lin Xian with the Great Destruction Spear. Nothing was left in front of him. All right, he could continue on his way. Lin Xian waved his hand and said to the ground fiend demonic rat behind him. Little White flew back, and the ground fiend demonic rat's body stiffened. He was completely stunned at this moment. Previously, he was forced to submit to the other party and was still dissatisfied in his heart. But now, he no longer dared to have any dissatisfaction. The other party's strength had completely stunned it. What kind of human was this? This was simply a god. Next, he continued on his way. 3 days later, Lin Xian obtained his first East Spirit Stone. He obtained it in a valley. If it wasn't for the ground fiend demonic rat leading the way, he wouldn't have been able to find it. A piece of East Spirit Stone was crystal clear and flickering with light. This kind of stone was a very important material for making array formations. Lin Xian carefully put away the East Spirit Stone. Then, he narrowed his eyes. Now that he had gotten the East Spirit Stone, it wouldn't be too far away. With a sway of his body, he left again. 2 days later, he found a second piece of East Spirit Stone. This piece of East Spirit Stone was on an ancient tree. He didn't know who put it here. Lin Xian's figure flashed, and he stepped on the air. He arrived above the ancient tree, and reached out to grab the second piece. However, at this moment, there was a crisis. Suddenly, 2 golden rays of light rushed out from the ancient tree. This sudden change stunned Lin Xian and he subconsciously blocked with his hand. With a bang, he was sent flying. His entire arm was numb. Damn it, what was this thing? Its strength was too strong. One had to know that he had the 9-yang divine body. Especially now, his physique was completely equivalent to a 4th firmament saint. He could even withstand a few attacks from a 5th firmament saint. Once he activated the Qilin tattoo, his physique would be even stronger. Although he hadn't activated the Qilin tattoo, not everyone could hurt him. However, This golden light made his entire body feel as if he had been struck by lightning. He was sent flying. At the same time, another voice sounded in his ears. Not good. It turned out that the earth fiend demonic rat was hit by another golden light. Its entire body was penetrated, and it let out a miserable cry. That golden light turned back and stabbed at the earth fiend demonic rat's head. Save me. The earth fiend demonic rat's face was filled with fear. Although he was also a third firmament demon saint, he didn't even have the strength to fight back in front of this golden light. When Lin Xian saw this scene, he was instantly furious. The earth fiend demonic rat was his guide and the most crucial existence to finding the East Tombstone. How could he allow others to attack him? Thinking of this, he roared angrily, clenched his hand into a fist, and directly grabbed at the golden line. He grabbed it with one hand. However, Lin Xian was also sent flying, crashing into countless forests. At this moment, another golden light charged towards Xiao Bai. However, Xiao Bai's speed was very fast. With a flash of its body, it disappeared into the void and dodged this attack. Humph! Lin Xian roared angrily. He activated the black Qilin tattoo on his body and his physique became stronger. He waved his fists and sent the two golden lights flying. Buzz! He grabbed the earth fiend demonic rat and brought it to his side. How is it? Lin Xian asked. The earth fiend demonic rat's face was filled with fear. It wouldn't die, but it was almost. If you didn't make a move, I would definitely die today. Chapter 3667. As he healed his wounds, his face was filled with horror. After the two golden lights in front of him were sent flying, they did not attack immediately. Instead, they stopped in midair. Only then did Lin Xian realize that they were actually two bugs. Two of them had wings and were yellow all over. There were black patterns on their bodies, and they looked like bees. How was that possible? Lin Xian was completely stunned. How could two bees make them so miserable? In fact, they seemed to be able to easily kill any level 3 sage. Even a level 4 sage might not be able to block them. What kind of bee was this? It was too terrifying. After the earth demon demonic rat saw it, its scalp went numb. Damn it, the killer saint bee was meant to kill sages. Lin Xian also gasped when he heard that. Just the name alone was enough to tell that it was a terrifying existence. He asked, "Are they native to the East Spirit World or the Demon City? Or are they raised by a sage? They should be native to the East Spirit World. I've heard of the killer saint bee before, but I didn't expect it to be here." At this point, its voice trembled. "Is their hive on the ancient tree in front of us? If that's the case, we're dead meat. Let's go." Lin Xian's eyes shone with a golden light. He looked ahead and heaved a sigh of relief. To be honest, he was also muttering in his heart. Two killer saint bees were already so powerful. If there was a hive of them, he could only run away. But fortunately, it seemed that this was not their nest. He just didn't know why they were here. Lin Xian looked at the East Spirit Stone again and frowned. Perhaps someone brought the East Spirit Stone here and was killed. This could also explain why the East Spirit Stone was on the tree. Let's go. There are other East Spirit Stones in other places. Don't worry. The East Spirit Stone is right in front of us. How can we give up? Besides, other places might have East Spirit Stones, but other places might not have killer saint bees. Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile. Seeing this scene, the earth demon demonic rat was dumbfounded. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to attack killer saint bees? No way, don't provoke this thing. If a group of them comes, we'll definitely die. Don't worry, I have a way. Lin Xian's eyes shone with golden light. He said, Xiao Bai, go get the East Spirit Stone, and leave these two bees to me. Xiao Bai's body flickered and flew towards the ancient tree. Seeing this scene, the killer Saint Bees, with the demon demonic beast with them, Saint Bees sword. Saint Bees. Saint Bee, sword, sword with Saint. Saint, 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 saint. Saint, 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 with eye heaven. This was a kind of control type eye technique. Light moon, light shadow. At this moment, the two saints slaying peaks were shaking non-stop. They had received a huge soul attack. With a flap of its wings, two streaks of golden light clashed in the air. Wherever it passed, large black cracks appeared in the void. To the Lin of A. Lin Xian, on the other hand, was constantly using his eye techniques to attack his opponent's soul. Half an hour later, the two killer Saint Bees were no longer so irritable. They stopped in midair. Come here. Lin Xian waved his hand, and the two killer Saint Bees flew over and landed on his palm. Lin Xian looked at them carefully. He had to admit that these two killer Saint Bees were very beautiful. The black spots on their bodies were like Tao patterns, full of mysterious aura. Come out, it's fine now. He stomped the ground with his foot. The earth demon demonic rat came out, looking around with its green eyes. Have you killed them? No, they're in my hand. As he spoke, he stretched out his palm. When the earth demon demonic rat saw the two killer Saint Bees in his palm, it was scared out of its wits. It wanted to leave, but it was kicked out by Lin Xian. Now they're mine. Yours? What do you mean? The earth demon demonic rat stopped. It waited for a long time and found that the two killer Saint Bees did not attack. Only then did it heave a sigh of relief. I've already controlled their souls. They're mine now. The simple words made the earth demon demonic rat's hair stand on end. This is an eye technique. And it's an extremely terrifying eye technique. This young man is too powerful. Fortunately, it cooperated obediently before. Otherwise, the other party would directly control its soul and turn it into a walking corpse. It would not have any ability to resist. These two killer Saint Bees might play an unexpected role. Lin Xian kept it. Then he took the East Spirit Stone from Little White. Let's go. With a wave of his hand, they were on their way again. While Lin Xian was collecting the Spirit Stones, another group of people arrived in the East Spirit World. These people were the second batch of candidates from Wushuang City, which was Di Ling, Yu Qianye, and the others. They waited for 3 days before taking the test again. After passing the test, they were teleported here. When they first arrived, they were also shocked by the terror of the East Spirit World. However, a few of them sneered. For example, Yu Qianye's eyes were red. Finally, it was the third stage. Lin Xian, you can't escape! I'll tear you to pieces. On the other side, Di Ling was the same. Lin Wudi, you dare to eliminate me? I'll make you wish you were dead! His body swayed, and he rushed into the sky, entering the mountain range. In the mountains, a waterfall flowed down. Below the waterfall, there was a beautiful figure, like a fairy. She took out an East Spirit Stone from the waterfall, then wiped the water off her face. She looked around. This is the second East Spirit Stone. I wonder how Brother Lin is doing now. She was Shinjingqiu. At this moment, she had also obtained the second East Spirit Stone, but she still had not met Lin Xian. With Brother Lin's strength, there should be no problem here. But Brother Lin might be worried about me. No, I can't distract Brother Lin. Shinjingqiu thought for a moment, then spat out a purple cloud. Then, she spoke to the cloud. Brother Lin, Xiu'er is safe. You don't have to look for me. Gather the 10 East Spirit Stones, and we'll meet at East Spirit Mountain. East Spirit Mountain was the final destination. After the people of Wushuang City gathered the 10 East Spirit Stones, they would head to East Spirit Mountain. From there, they could return to Wushuang City. After speaking, Shinjingqiu waved her hand, and the purple cloud floated in the sky, carrying her aura. As long as Lin Xian saw her, he would definitely recognize her. Then, Lin Xian would be able to hear what she said. After doing this, Shinjingqiu identified a direction and left. Not long after she left, a figure flew over and merged into the waterfall. Then, he sighed. The East Spirit Stone was taken away by someone. Then, he looked up at the sky. Not too far away. This is Shinjingqiu's aura. He had just left. In the middle of the lake, millions of water droplets condensed into a handsome young man. It was Yuqianya. Chapter 3668. Should he go and kill Shinjinchio? Yuqianya thought about it and gave up. Forget it. My main target is that kid. As long as I kill that kid, the Holy Lady of the Spirit Tribe is nothing to be afraid of. Looking at this purple cloud, it should be able to lure that kid over. Alright, I'll wait here. When he comes, I'll show him how powerful I am. There was a waterfall in the mountains. There should be an East Spirit Stone hidden in it. If it hadn't been taken away. The Earth Demon Rat's eyes flashed, and it started to point the way again. Lin Xian set off towards the location of the third East Spirit Stone. He flew all the way to the mountains. Before he reached the waterfall, he stopped. In the next moment, he saw a ball of purple aura in the sky. A ball of purple cloud. He was stunned. The Earth Demon Rat was also stunned. What a strange cloud. Who spat it out? Lin Xian was suddenly enlightened. It was Chior. Chior must have left it behind. Buzz. He probed with a large hand and grabbed at the sky. As he moved, the waterfall on the other side also changed. Countless splashes of water turned into streaks of flowing light and rushed towards him. In an instant, the void in front of him was pierced. Oh no, there's an enemy. The Earth Demon Rat screamed again. Lin Xian shouted coldly. With a wave of his hand, he uprooted the ground and formed a huge mountain in front of him. At the same time, his figure flashed, and he appeared in another space. He grabbed the purple cloud in his hand. Was it a trap? His face was cold. However, at this moment, Shinjinchio's voice came from the cloud. Brother Lin, I'm fine. You don't have to look for me. We'll meet at Dongling Mountain. It was Chior's voice. There was no doubt about it. Furthermore, Chior didn't seem to be in any danger. Who was the one who attacked? Since it wasn't a trap, Lin Xian turned his head and looked into the distance. He saw that in the waterfall, the seawater condensed into a figure. Kid, you're finally here. The figure stood on the surface of the water. The murderous aura from his body was earth-shattering. A fourth heaven saint! The Earth Fiend demonic rat was pushed far away again, its face full of fear. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. It's you, you bastard, you're here too? She didn't expect that the one waiting for her here was actually Yuqianya. Was this miss left behind by Yuqianya to confuse him? No, that shouldn't be the case. Chior must have left it behind, and Yuqianya must have discovered it after she left. In an instant he understood. A loser like you actually managed to enter. I have to say that you're really lucky. However, you didn't cherish this opportunity, and even dared to cause trouble for me. Are you tired of living? Lin Xian sneered. In his opinion, this Yuqianya was an idiot. Even now, he still dared to provoke him. Wasn't this courting death? Yuqianya snorted coldly. Brat, don't be so arrogant. The reason why you passed the second stage was because of the suppression of your innate techniques and cultivation base. Otherwise, do you think you can defeat me? Today, in this place, without any suppression, I will let you know my strength. I will let you die in despair. At the end of his words, the wind and rain changed. The waterfall behind him spun non-stop, turning into a silver dragon that crawled under Yuqianya's feet. Brat, use the 2 bees you just got to kill him. The Earth Fiend demonic rat quickly said from behind. Kill him? Forget it. It's such a precious thing. Isn't it a waste to kill a trash? What a joke. Killing the bees was Lin Xian's trump card. He would only use it when necessary. He didn't put a mere Yuqianya in his eyes. He raised his head and said indifferently, Since you want to fight with me, show me your full strength. Attack with your full strength, or you won't have any chance. I should be the one saying that. You better use your full strength, or I can kill you in one move. Yuqianya sneered. Is that so? Let me attack first? Sure. Lin Xian nodded. Then do you want to give me 3 moves? So what? Yuqianya sneered. He had absolute confidence in this place. He was an entire realm higher than his opponent. Not to mention 3 moves, he could easily kill his opponent with 300 moves. What he wanted to do now was to let his opponent know what despair was. Since that's the case, I won't hold back. Lin Xian sneered. What an idiot. He really wanted to know what his opponent's expression would be after this move. Thinking of this, he clenched his fist and punched out. It was extremely fast. In an instant, he appeared in front of his opponent and punched out. Instantly, his opponent was torn into pieces. Ah! A miserable cry rang out. The sky was filled with saint blood. Yu Qianya's corpse fell into the waterfall. This scene stunned the earth fiend demonic rats at the back. He came back to his senses. This person in the 4th heaven isn't much. He's such an idiot. How can he stand there and let others hit him? The snow-white little monkey beside him said while eating a spirit fruit. Did water get into his brain? Lin Xian said. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I use too much strength? Ah, damn brat. I'm going to kill you! Yu Qianya's body, which had been torn to pieces, quickly healed. His handsome face instantly became distorted. Damn it! I was too careless. How can my opponent be so strong? He must have secretly used a saint artifact. Damn it! My opponent is too despicable. I won't let you off. The law on his body spread out. A terrifying aura surged out. Lin Xian said. What? You want to fight? Didn't you say you would let me have 3 moves? This is only the first move. There are still 2 more. You won't go back on your words, right? These words were like slaps to the face. Yu Qianya's face was incomparably ugly. Previously, he was extremely confident and said he would let his opponent have 3 moves. Who would have thought that his opponent's strength was beyond his expectations? His body was shattered in the first move. If he hit him 2 more times, he would be seriously injured. So he gritted his teeth and said, Despicable brat, you're too shameless. I take back my words. Take back my words? I'm despicable and shameless? I think you're too shameless. Someone like you is also a 4th level saint? You don't even keep your words. What a joke. Humph. Who would know here? Yu Qianya said shamelessly. Indeed. There's only 2 people here. So what if he's shameless? Damn it. I've never seen someone so shameless. The earth fiend demonic rat at the back could not stand it anymore. This guy is too thick-skinned. Who said no one saw it? Aren't we humans? Bah. We're demons. But what's wrong? Can't demons look down on you? A smelly rat dares to clamor in front of me? Yu Qianya's killing intent was awe-inspiring. The earth fiend demonic rat took 2 steps back. However, when he thought of Lin Xian, he was not afraid. Do you think you can be shameless just because there's no one here? I'll let you see the consequences of being shameless. Relatives, come out. Chapter 3669. The earth demon demonic rat roared, and the ground trembled. Countless rats jumped out. These rats might not be as strong as the earth demon demonic rat, but there were too many of them. They were densely packed, and pairs of green eyes looked around. Oh, it was their ancestor. When they saw the earth demon demonic rat, they kept worshipping it. Indeed, with the earth demon demonic rat's identity as a level 3 demonic rat, he could indeed be their ancestor. The earth demon demonic rat told countless descendants to remember this person. He was despicable and shameless. What was his name? His name was Yu Qianya. Lin Xian said. Yes, remember this Yu Qianya? He was despicable and shameless. Hurry up and spread the word. Let everyone in the East Spirit world know that there was such a shameless guy. Courting death. Yu Qianya was mad. A small demonic beast dared to be arrogant in front of him. He raised his hand and a ray of light flew out. The earth demon demonic rat was shocked. Fortunately, Lin Xian made a move. With a wave of his hand, he directly shattered the ray of light. Lin Xian sneered. Why? Was what he said wrong? Weren't you despicable and shameless? Humph. You're sharp-tongued. Now I'll make you wish you were dead. As he spoke, Yuchienya's body swayed, turned into countless water droplets, and rushed forward quickly. What a terrifying movement technique! The earth demonic rat was shocked to see it from afar. Indeed, Yuchienya's body seemed to have turned into countless water droplets. He killed people without leaving a trace. Every drop could penetrate a level 3 demonic rat. It could be said that it was very terrifying. Boom, boom, boom. Lin Xian was instantly enveloped by these water droplets. Those raindrops fell on his body, making sonorous sounds like thousands of thunder. That space was completely shattered and annihilated. No way, it was completely hit. The earth demonic rat was terrified. Yuchienya's lips curled into a smile. Humph, idiot kid, I already said that you're not mine at all outside. Before he finished speaking, his eyes widened. How was this possible? He screamed and retreated. Because he saw that under his attack, Lin Xian walked out, his body shining with golden light. He was unharmed. He was not injured at all. It was too unbelievable. The opponent's physique was actually comparable to that of a fourth heaven saint. It was really shocking. Is this what you have to be proud of? Your strength outside isn't that great either. Lin Xian's lips curled into a cold smile. He raised his hand and unleashed a beam of golden sword qi. In an instant, the sword qi shattered the air and slashed towards Yuchienya. 1. Yuchienya's body turned into countless water droplets. After dodging the sword, he sneered. Useless brat, you can't hurt me at all. I have the body of true water. At this point, he laughed proudly. His physique and bloodline were extraordinary, unfathomably deep. Can't hurt you? Are you sure? Lin Xian sneered at the other party. The other party's strength was only so. To be honest, he had no interest in tangling with the other party. Therefore, in the next moment, he directly shot out a dragon-shaped sword qi, which contained the terrifying aura of the great dragon sword soul. Useless brat. Yuchienya didn't dodge at all and turned back into raindrops. As long as he was in this state, he could dodge any attack. But this time, he was gravely mistaken. This was the dragon-shaped sword qi, which could destroy everything. As expected, when the sword slashed down, Yuchienya instantly screamed. Blood flowed out from the countless raindrops. Damn it, how is this possible? Yuchienya retreated crazily. A huge crack appeared on his body. It was terrifying, and even his internal organs flowed out. Damn it, this is impossible. He was completely stunned. His body of true water was broken by the other party. How is this possible? This is an extremely special physique. Lin Xian sneered. What body of true water? You can't even withstand a single blow from me. I've said it before. You're not my opponent at all. Whether it's in the Copper Sparrow Pavilion or outside in the real world, you can't even withstand a single blow. Damn it, this is impossible! Yuchienya screamed. The countless raindrops on his body began to shine. His body of true water could not only withstand countless attacks, but also had a strong recovery effect. After all, water nourished all things. But the strength of the sword qi and the remnant sword intent on it shocked him. His body of true water could not completely heal in a short period of time. Fortunately, the injury had been stopped. But at this time, Lin Xian's fist came over. It arrived in front of him. With a boom, Yuchienya was smashed into pieces. Then, Lin Xian attacked forcefully, turning Yuchienya into a bloody mist. His cold eyes surrounded the bloody mist. He said coldly, "Do you still think you can fight against me now?" Yuchienya was completely stunned. His heart was trembling violently. What was going on? He screamed. His body healed again, and his face was incomparably pale. Defeated, was he defeated? With just a few simple moves, the other party had beaten him to the point where he could not even fight back. Damn it! It made him feel powerless. It was just like when he was in the Copper Sparrow Pavilion. But that was because his cultivation was suppressed. He could not use his great skills. Now, he could use any divine ability without the suppression of his cultivation base. But he was still not a match for his opponent. Could it be that the gap between them was so big? No, I don't believe it! Yu Qianye opened his mouth and spat out a decree. It bloomed with an incomparable light. That was the decree of the Rain Clan. Not only that, he also took out an umbrella. That was a saint artifact. The decree danced in front of him, and the umbrella spun above his head. In an instant, Yu Qianye's whole body was covered in defense. Kid, I will make you pay the price. As he said that, he formed a seal with his palm. The ancient words on the decree flickered and pushed forward. It was like a seal of heaven and earth that could destroy everything. What a terrifying aura! What kind of rune was that? The earth demon mouse retreated again. The aura made his hair stand on end. Even the little white monkey stopped eating the spirit fruit and began to worry. Lin Xian sneered. He raised his hand and also threw out a decree. The two decrees collided in the air and intertwined, forming countless Tao of heaven and earth. Damn kid, this is my Rain Clan's item. Seeing this decree, Yu Qianye was instantly angry. It was very obvious that this was the decree of his sister. He snorted. You are an outsider. You can't display the true power of our decrees. As he said that, he spat out a mouthful of blood. Suddenly, the decree bloomed with an incomparable light. Only the power of our Rain Clan's bloodline can display the decree to its fullest. As expected, Lin Xian's decree was suppressed, and it began to tremble violently. Seeing this, Yu Qianye laughed loudly. Did you see that? You are not my opponent at all. Is that so? You rely too much on decrees. You don't know what is the most important thing in the dark. Lin Xian's voice was cold. The most important thing was not the bloodline or the laws, but the ancient words on it. These are the ancient scripture words. You are an idiot. You can't even comprehend the most important thing. Speaking until here, Lin Xian did not pay attention to him anymore. Instead, he stretched out a finger and drew a few arcs in the sky. What he wrote was the ancient scripture words on the laws. You're tuning into the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.